Alright, are we good? Can everyone hear me? Hello? See, there's some people in the chat. Yeah, I saw them. There we go. Alright. Just setting up. Hold on. Hello, welcome. The stream's a bit later than I normally probably would have it, but I had homework to do, so done with that now. Got a little more to do tomorrow, but doing pretty well. Today has been pretty good, honestly. Hold on. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was just kind of time consuming more than anything. I'm not really sure what I should have in terms of like an image for these kinds of streams, since obviously I'm not drawing or anything. There's nothing really for you guys to see, so I guess for now I'll keep it on the live stream page. So this is kind of a 2-in-1 stream. I asked over on my community tab yesterday what you guys would want to see in terms of streams when I don't feel like up to drawing. Someone suggested a Q&A stream. I had suggested possibly like a singing stream where you guys can request songs and I'll sing them, or at least bits of them, and that seemed pretty popular. And I saw some requests for like reading just one-shots on stream. Just, you guys would send me a link and I would just read it right then and there. So we can do that some other time as well. But today I just thought that we would do kind of a chill thing. We could do questions, we can do songs, we can do whatever you guys want, really, as long as it doesn't take too much for me to set up. Yeah. Do you guys have anything you want me to do? Any questions? Anything like that? Any topics you want me to talk about? I haven't seen the new Steven Universe movie. I've seen about like 20 million clips of it, so I've probably seen about half the movie just from those clips. And I do know some of the songs from that. Other Friends is a bop, let's just say. Other Friends and Drift Away are fantastic. I haven't listened to the other ones too much, but I definitely do like them. Deathbringer 12, are you single? Well, yeah. Let's just say single and not looking for change. Miranda asks, what voice part do you sing? I am an alto. I can sing a little bit higher. I've never been trained. I've never been in choir or anything like that. So I kind of just... I was in a theater production where I actually had a voice part once, and I took the alto part. So I can sing decently low, but that's just really me saying I don't honestly know, but alto. Thomas Sanders cover... which song in particular? Because he's got quite a few songs, and I'd be willing to sing a couple of them. Anxiously Waiting. Thoughts on the Roman's Room with the Cracked Mirror Theory? I don't know if I've heard of that. Is that one... I haven't heard of it, but I'm gonna guess that it's like a mirror. There's a mirror in Creativity's room that links Roman's side of the room or Roman's part of the room with Remus's part of the room, I'm guessing. In which case, Roman's room is kind of an interesting topic for me, because the way that I would portray it in, like, my fic that I would write is very different than how I would expect it to be in canon, obviously. But in terms of, like, you know, what can be represented in fanfic, I really like that, honestly. But I also like the theory that they're just roommates, and Remus is, like, a goblin that just has trash all over his side of the room, so either one works. The smallest Wolfie, do you ship Sandersides? And if so, if you do, who do you ship? Oh god, I have so many ships. I'm just gonna go through the ships that I've either written for or consistently use or seek out content for. Low Seat, so Logan and Deceit, and then Roman and Deceit are both of one of my favorite ships. I really like D-Lamp, just all of them together. I think it's really sweet. Let's see, and Demas is really good too. I actually ship all three of the dark sides together. I have a headcanon for the orange side, which I've honestly developed into a whole entire character. So I ship all three of them. I've written actually a couple of little one-shots over on my Tumblr. They're very self-indulgent, but I don't care because they're really cute. Anxiously waiting. There's a giant mirror in their room and it's either cracked or covered up. It makes me so sad to think he would hate his reflection. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Roman's going through issues right now with his self-worth and self-confidence, and it's definitely, I'm hoping it's going to be addressed soon. Not to point any fingers, but I don't think that Patton and Virgil are helping much. And Remus showing up definitely isn't going to help with that either. And it's not even Remus's fault exactly. It's just, the reminder that he's only one half of a side is not going to be good for Roman's self-esteem. Elaborate on your orange side. Okay, so my headcanon / theory for the orange side is that he's going to be obsession. And that he actually used to be a light side, and he was known as passion when he was a light side. But then around Thomas's middle school years-ish, he started getting ignored by both Thomas, and Logan was actually a really big part of why he transferred over to the dark side. You'll see more of him in I Am Creativity when I get, mostly in Chapter 3, He's a big part of the backstory in that chapter, so you'll see a lot of him then, and kind of his whole story. But yeah, he's obsession. So he's he's a nerd who thinks he's cool. All right, let's see. Let's go through this chat again. I Am Creativity is so far amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's been really fun, and I am really excited for you guys to see it. I'm currently in the process of working on the epilogue, and it's been really fun so far. What is your favorite fanfic you have read or made? Favorite fanfic I've written? Probably I Am Creativity, just because it's been the one that I've completed, not counting Selfish Protector, because those are little one-shots, so I can write as many as those as I want to, and technically I can leave them, leave it off wherever I want, but I'll come back to that. Selfish Protector eventually. It'll be a while. Probably after the next episode gets dropped, I'll rekindle my love for Deceit and his narrative. Did you give him a name, the orange side? I did. His name, so when he was named, known as Passion, his name was Valentine, because I thought it was just really cute. And then when he became Obsession, his name is Otto, Otto. Hi, Turtle God, I see you. You don't need to spam my chat. I see you. I appreciate that you're here. Thank you. Your favorite fanfic is that Every Time We Touch One? Yeah. Clearly, that's the favorite. You can kind of tell by the number of views that one has. I actually found out that if you search Sanderside's animatic into YouTube, that video pops up even though it's not an animatic. So that makes sense as to why it's got more views. Not to mention it's just angsty. And the thumbnail definitely helps. I need to work on getting thumbnails on my other videos, but I can read and edit a lot faster than I can draw thumbnails, unfortunately. If anyone wants to draw a thumbnail for any of my videos, I will love you forever. I don't care if you don't think your art is good. I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, if you wanted to get your art spotlighted as a thumbnail, look at me just trying to pawn off work on other people. Yeah, I think I'm bad at drawing too, so your favorite is The Selfish Sky. Out of the Selfish Protector series, I think Selfish Sky is my favorite as well. It was really fun to write Crazy Patton. And it was even more fun to voice him, honestly. My one regret is that I didn't go in and add any voice effects on him or on Virgil during that one. Maybe I will at some point re-upload that one with like some voice effects if I learn how to do it in Audacity, but I would love to do that. It would be super cool. How do you think the next side will be revealed? I don't like talking about things like that because I love being surprised on stuff, but I'm interested on what others think. I have a couple of ideas in ways I think would be really funny. My personal favorite idea is that, so we know that the next episode that's going to come out, and I don't know when, I'm hoping by the end of September, we'll see, but I'm hoping that we know that episode is the end of the season. They said that in a member live stream. I'm not a member, but one of my friends is, and they told me that. So we know that that's the end of the season. So they're gonna drop something on us. Like I can't imagine that they wouldn't. And I think the funniest and almost best way for them to drop something on us is if, the episode goes as normal. It's probably going to be Deceit focused because they're revisiting the SVS argument, and maybe they come to a compromise, maybe they don't, maybe they come to an understanding about Deceit, maybe they don't. I don't know. How the episode goes doesn't honestly matter in terms of my idea, because my idea starts in the end card. So the video ends, Thomas does his whole spiel, like, oh, be a good person, blah, 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 and then the end card pops up, and it's Deceit and Remus in, like, kind of a dark area, kind of like Anxiety's room, the way that they decorated the thing for that, but it's not his room, it's just dark. So, like, the dark sides area. And so Remus and Deceit are talking, and they're like, oh, how did it go, blah, 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 whatever. And then all of a sudden, we hear this new voice, and maybe we see him, or maybe we just see, like, a shadow or something, or maybe we just see, like, a flash of orange, and I think it would be so funny if we learned his name, like, his actual name, before we learned what his title is. So if they called him by his, like, name, say it was my character, Obsession, then it would be, they would call him Otto, while they would, call Remus, and Deceit, whatever his name is. I have my own headcanons, but whatever. I just think it would be so funny if they, revealed his name before his thing, because that's one of the most unique ways I can think of for them to reveal a new character, because they've always revealed a character based on their title before their name, but I think it would be such a subversion to reveal the last side with his name, so we know his name before his title, and that would lead into my idea that and I may write a one-shot of this depending on what happens in canon, but in my version of canon, the light sides don't know that obsession is passion. Like, they don't know he's the same side. They think that passion just disappeared and obsession, like, appeared. He changed his appearance enough and kind of spent a lot of time away from them, so they don't really know. So I think it would be so funny if one of the episodes started and it's just Obsession standing there, but he's, like, smiling and he's, like, you know, just like, oh, hey, Thomas, what's up? And he introduces himself as Passion, and, you know, the three light sides are like, oh, hey, like, it's been a long time. Where did you go? And he's chatting with him. They're all friendly and whatever. And then all of a sudden Virgil pops up and he's like, guys, that's not who you think it is. Like, this is dangerous. Get out of here. And then Obsession would, like, twist. And I don't know. I just, I think it would be really fun. Okay, while I was rambling, what questions did people ask? My favorite part so far from SP is Disney and Deceit. I don't know why. Disney and Deceit's fun too, although one of my friends pointed out a mistake I made while I was writing it. I wonder if any of you guys can point it out, because it's a really dumb mistake. It's not like a grammar mistake or anything, it's like in the story plot. Can you sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Maybe in a bit. I'll see if I can pull up like a little instrumental on my phone or something, and we can do that. I am not entirely sure how to do this, but I'll figure it out. I could probably pull up a song on my phone and probably just sing to that, and hopefully the mic will pick some of it up. Everyone makes mistakes, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's funny because nobody has mentioned it other than this one friend. So, and it's not like a grammar mistake, you know, it's like, if any of you can point it out to me in either the comments or even here, I will give you a cookie. Maggie Q, I'm intrigued in drawing thumbnails, but I've never done that before, so, well, if you're curious or interested, you can definitely message me on my Tumblr, and I'd be happy to kind of help you out with that. It's not too hard in terms of, like, dimensions and stuff, but, yeah, I have basic, like, concepts for the thumbnails I want. I just need to find the energy to actually do it. Percy Jackson and Sanders Sides Rule. What's your favorite Tom or Sanders song? Are we including covers or just, like, Sanders Side songs? Because, I'll be honest, I don't really listen to the songs in Sanders Sides. I have this weird thing, like, it's almost like secondhand embarrassment almost, where I just can't listen to them sing. I don't know, it's really weird. But I love his covers. Probably my favorite cover that he's done is the Friends on the Other Side mashup Disney thing, because it's fantastic, and I sing that to myself all the time, and I've definitely imagined animatics to it if I had time. Severa, do you know any musicals? I absolutely do. Let's see. I'm gonna go through all of the playlists I have in terms of musicals on my phone, because I'm gonna forget some otherwise that I know. Let's see. The Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella Broadway productions, I have those. Dear Evan Hansen, Hamilton, Footloose, Heathers. Not as big of a fan of Heathers as I used to be, but I still know the songs. Legally Blonde, Les Mis, The Lightning Thief musical, Mean Girls, Steven Universe, that's not a Broadway musical, but whatever. And then some lesser known ones. There's The Count of Monte Cristo, which you guys probably know at least one of the songs if you've seen Altruistic Skittles, Animatic, Every Day a Little Death. Quality Animatic, would recommend. That's the musical that song's from, and I love the entire musical. I'm super into this really old musical called The Fantastics. It's one of my favorites. Not Broadway, but I have The Greatest Showman on my phone, and I have Wicked. And the Ultimate Storytime Tour soundtrack as well, so I could probably sing most songs from any of those musicals, if any of those sounded interesting. How long do you plan on streaming for? I'm not sure. Maybe an hour or so. Is it part 1 or 2 of Disney and Deceit? The Mistake. Oh, it's in part 1. It's while they're playing the game, and that's all I'm going to say. If you guys need more hints, I might give it a little bit later. But, yeah. Be More Chill is the best. I'm not a super fan of the whole, kind of techno sound of some of the soundtrack. Pitiful Children is A+. And I do like some of the other songs, but the soundtrack as a whole isn't something I listen to on a daily basis, which I do listen to the other ones quite frequently. Yeah, I love Hamilton. I didn't go to see the Lightning Thief musical, unfortunately. I would if it came near me. No, I just have the soundtrack on my phone. Dear Evan Hansen, Hamilton, Heathers, Be More Chill, Beetlejuice, A Story Told from Count of Monte Cristo. That's a good one. My brother actually did a production of The Fantastics at his high school. Yeah, we did it my freshman year here at school, and I don't know, I just fell in love with it. I actually have a Sandersides AU for it, but I can't talk about it with anyone because no one knows the story. But it works so well, and it's royalty, even though I don't really ship that. Like, I do, but it's not one of my main ships. Let's see. They should make a musical out of Steven Universe. I mean, there's musical episodes, like there's songs from it, and I love all of them, I think. I can't really think, there's a few songs I like less than others, but I have the feeling later you will remember another musical. I mean, I've listened to other musicals for sure, but those, the ones I list are the ones that are on my phone and I listen to like all the time. Can you please sing Dear Theodosia? Yes, I will put that on my list. Did someone pick a character from a Pixar movie, maybe? Okay, in my defense, I've never seen the movie that the character's from, so I forgot that it was Pixar, okay? Don't... Yeah, that was it. But you gotta tell me which character it was. That way I know. Pitiful Children is best villain song. I agree. The animatics of it are fantastic. What are your main ships? Probably Low Seat, Rose Seat, D-Lamp, and, Demas. Can you tell who's my favorite character? I don't know. Are there any others? I don't really ship Patton and Virgil with anyone too often. I mean, like, I don't mind it, and in D-Lamp, like, I like their interactions, but, they're not my favorite characters to just work with in general, so I tend to not write shippy stuff for them. But Deceit, Remus, Logan, and Roman are my favorites. So... wait, the reprise or not the reprise? Probably just the normal song. But I can sing the reprise, too, of Dear Theodosia if you want. Though you don't like the soundtracks as a whole, do you have a preference for the off-Broadway or Broadway BMC? To be perfectly honest, I don't think I've heard the off-Broadway version of it. I mean, I might have, but I can't recall what it sounds like, so... I guess Broadway? I don't really have a, I don't really have a preference, I guess, because I can't really decide that, hey, we're not doing ships. I mean, I'm fine to talk about ships, but we're not bashing anyone for their ships. Thank you. I mean, Mosaity's not my OTP, but, like, I don't mind it. I understand why people don't, and I'm totally cool with that. Because I definitely do see their, relationship as very, like, father-son in canon. In AUs, though, I think that dynamic can be played with. But, I mean, in my D-Lamp, Demigod AU, Mosiety kind of is a thing, but they're just really, really close. Tina, you're free to talk about whatever you want in the chat. I can't guarantee that I'll see it or not. If you want to talk theories, my Tumblr is probably a better place to do it, just because there's not a character limit. But you're free to do that. Alright, I'm gonna pull up Dear Theodosia, because Turtle's gotta go. Hold on. I'm just gonna play it from my phone, and then hopefully you guys can hear my voice over the song. Dear Theodosia. There it is. Wait. Gotta turn up the volume. Hold on. Can you guys hear that? Dear Theodosia, what to say to you? You have my eyes, you have your mother's name. When you came into the world you cried, and it broke my heart. I'm dedicating every day to you. Domestic life was never quite my style. When you smile, you knock me out, I fall apart, and I thought I was so smart. You have come of age with our young nation. We'll bleed and fight for you, we'll make it right for you. If we lay a strong enough foundation, we'll pass it on to you. We'll give the world to you, and you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday, yeah, you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday. Ooh, Philip, you smile, I am undone. My son, look at my son. Pride is not the word I'm looking for. There is so much more inside me now. Oh, Philip, when you sign the morning sun, my son, look at you smile. I fall apart, and I thought I was so smart. My father wasn't around. I swear that I'll be around for you. I'll make a million mistakes, I'll make the world safe and sound for you. We'll come of age with our young nation. We'll bleed and fight for you, we'll make it right for you. If we lay a strong enough foundation, we'll pass it on to you. We'll give the world to you, and you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday, yeah, you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday. Thank you, Turtle. Bye. I'm glad you liked it. Alright, I'm scrolling back up because I missed some stuff. Thank you all who are saying my voice is pretty. Thank you. It's only like that about half the time. Other times I sound like I'm dying. Thank you. That song's a little low for my range. At least while I'm not warmed up, so. Also, sorry for switching parts. You know, singing duets by yourself is, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if you're asking me, but I don't really use any other social media. I mean, I have an archive of our own account. It's the same name as this, Dragon Saphira Reads. There's just no space in between that. In between Saphira and Reads, it's all one word. Tumblr is kind of my main. I mean, I have a Twitter and Instagram and stuff, but I don't use them, so I don't really. I mean, they're in my YouTube bio, I think, but it's about 50-50 whether I'll respond to you if you message me on there, to be perfectly honest. Sorry. There was some discussion about Virgil. Does he sound like the yin and yang of the group? I'm not really sure what you mean. I mean, if you're referencing like his status as kind of an in-between side, like not really a light side, not really a dark side anymore, then I definitely agree with you. He's, I don't know, like I could go on an entire rant about how dark sides don't actually exist. But I think I ranted about that enough on Tumblr. I mean, Magi Q, sorry. I think you can message me on YouTube. I can give you, if you message me privately on, any of the, sites that I have listed, yeah, if you want to just message me, I can give you my Discord. I don't want to put it out, for everyone to see, but I can give you my Discord and we can chat from there, if that works. Because that's probably the only other thing I'm really on much. What's your favorite ship for Percy Jackson? Oh boy. I mean, I guess Persebeth. Honestly, it's been years since I've read the books, so I don't really remember what ships there are. But, I mean, Persebeth was always really cute. Honestly, my favorite ships now are with the OCs that I've made for my Sandersides Demigod AU. I have so many, and I really shouldn't because it's supposed to be about the boys, but I love my kids. I needed head counselors to kind of fill in, you know, the camp and make it seem like there's more than just 5 people going there. So I made a bunch of OCs. And yeah, those are, honestly, I ship them more now, but Persebeth is fun. And Solangelo is good too, because quality gay. Tessa, all the sides are just trying to help Thomas in their own way, except maybe Remus. He's just great. I think Remus is trying to, well, I think he wants to help. Trying to help is a stretch. I think all of them are just trying to do their job, and it's not Remus's fault that his job is doing everything that Thomas/Patton doesn't like or doesn't want him to do. Like, that's not Remus's fault, and I think that him being intrusive thoughts makes sense, but I also don't think that's his only purpose, you know? That's just what he's been pushed to in order to get attention. You know, if he was given attention in his, like, less intrusive thoughts and more just, like, you know, ideas that maybe are a little scary, then, you know, I lost my train of thought. But Maggie Q, just message me on YouTube and we'll see what we can work out after the stream, okay? I really appreciate you wanting to draw for me, and I can even give you my email if that works the best for you. It may be years. Actually, oh yeah, I have a business email listed in my YouTube about section. If you want to send me a message there, then we can contact from there. Yeah, Merida is technically Pixar. You get a cookie, Deathbringer. Because that was the mistake I made, and that was what my friend brought up. That's why I made that mistake, is because she is in the Disney princess lineup. And she was in Wreck-It Ralph with all the other Disney princesses, so that's why I thought that. But I guess thinking about it, there's a line in that movie where it's like, oh, she's from the other studio or a different studio or something like that. So yeah, that was the mistake I made, but that was my friend was the first one to bring that up. Darksides was a name given to them by Roman, and I have a headcanon where their group is a different name. Well, do they need a different name, though? I mean, not to say they shouldn't have, like, a squad name, because, I mean, let's do it. But just thinking about it, like, so the name Darksides is canon, right? Like, Roman said it, that's what he calls them, that's kind of what Thomas has taken to calling them, whatever. But I think sometimes we forget that the term light sides isn't canon. That's something the fandom made up, and it kind of doesn't work. Because what does that even mean? You know? Like, that they're good? I mean, Deceit can be good too. Like, his purpose is self-preservation, you know? So, and for all we know, that the orange side is, you know, the same thing, just pushed to do bad things according to Thomas. I don't know, you know, like, I'm all for them having a group name, you know, like a group chat name. Like, I think that'd be funny. But I cannot wait for the day when we can stop calling them Darksides, because they're all kind of on the same team, even if they don't like each other. They don't need to like each other. And Deceit and Remus don't need to change. They just need to be kind of accepted for who they are. Okay. Saphira, what are your thoughts on all the canon sides, especially Logan and Remus? Okay. We're gonna go from my favorite to least favorite, actually, because that's how it's gonna happen. So my favorite, Deceit, love him. He's not a bad guy, but definitely his methods aren't the best. He's not used to talking with Thomas, and he's not used to trying to fight against Patton, who's so powerful. So, love him, Snake Boy, best boy. Remus, this isn't, I mean, those two are kind of on the same thing. Dirty Ratman, love him. I can pinpoint the exact time in the episode where I started to love him. I didn't like him for about 20 minutes into the episode, and then I hit one moment and I physically said out loud, I love him, and he's been, you know, trash man ever since. Logan, love him. I relate to Logan the most, I think, out of all the sides. Very analytical and logical, and the way that I kind of work through problems is very similar to his. I don't really like dealing with emotions. Not that I don't like dealing with them, but I don't often understand how they can incapacitate people the way they do. So, yeah. I keep looking at chat and losing my train of thought. Let's see. Roman, dramatic boy, needs some self-confidence boosting. And I think that's actually, I think that's partly what Deceit is trying to do. You know, you watch SVS and you're like, oh my god, you're flirting, stop it. But I definitely think that Deceit's whole purpose is to kind of help the ego. Well, not whole purpose, but one of his functions is to kind of help the ego, and that is what Roman is. And right now, his ego is about 6 feet underground, so he needs it. So love him, hope his arc hits soon, and either we see him break or we see him, like, actually, like, get some attention, because he deserves it. Patton. I do not particularly like Patton at the current moment. And it's intentional, I think, on the part of the writers to be frustrated with him. Because he's just they're all trying their best. And I can't fault him for sticking to his gut and sticking to, what he thinks is right. The only problem is, and I've kind of explored this in the Selfish Protector series, and I'm going to explore it more, but he has so much power over what Thomas thinks that Thomas doesn't even lend an ear to other opinions, even when they're not necessarily coming from Deceit or Remus. Like, if they're coming even from Logan or Roman, he doesn't really listen to any of them. He's doing all this unintentionally. That's the way I read his character. Like, he's not trying to harm anyone. I'm not against unsympathetic Patton. I understand where it comes from, and honestly, sometimes I indulge myself on content to kind of get my frustration out at how annoyed I am with them. But I don't think either Patton or Virgil are intending to cause harm. But they are. And that's actually the exact topic I'm going to bring up and kind of explore in the next installment of The Selfish Protector. Because I really want to explore the idea that just because someone doesn't mean to cause harm or someone doesn't mean to hurt your feelings, they still can. And what do you do in that situation? So you'll get more of that when I actually write that. But yeah, I love all of them. And I I don't want to say anything because all of them is someone's favorite character. But I'm not a super fan of the way Virgil is treated by the fandom. Not so much how he is in canon. Like, honestly, rewatching some of the videos, I'm like, yeah, he's, a little annoying with how much of a downer he can be sometimes, but he's fine, but the way the fandom treats him is not really my cup of tea most times. Anyways, let's see. I think I skipped some questions. A Lovely Night. I'll see if I can pull that up on my phone. I love how you think of Deceit. He isn't evil. He just doesn't understand how to help the way Thomas wants him to. Yeah, and I feel like it's not even... Deceit definitely has some issues with communication he needs to work out. But, that's partly just how he is. And I think it needs to be a two-way street. Deceit isn't the only one who needs to change how he's seeing the conversation. The way I see it, I wrote a little blurb about it while I was in class because I was so frustrated with it at the moment. But Deceit needs to have his voice heard. It doesn't need to be listened to, necessarily. Like, they don't need to take his advice or go with his plan all the time, but they need to consider his angle. And I kind of had a realization that Deceit is not just Thomas's ability to lie and tell the truth. He's also Thomas's ability to see through lies told to him. His ability to see through deception, either from his friends or, just from the world at large. And if Deceit left or sunk out or, ducked out or whatever, like, that would be catastrophic to him. And if they don't explore that in canon, I will explore that in a fic. Because that's a very interesting idea to me. Patton and Virgil have been getting on my nerves lately. Yeah, me too. But I think it's intentional. So if it's intentional, that means that they're planning on fixing it. Hopefully. I'm gonna stick with that. My little pet peeve with them and Virgil is that they make him seem so depressed. Kind of bugs me. Yeah, that's kind of my issue with it. They make him depressed, or they make him... my biggest pet peeve is that they make him the sole victim of the abusive and terrible, like, Deceit and Remus and the terrible dark sides, and they've abused him, and he's the victim, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's not how real unhealthy relationships work. And we have to remember that this is Virgil. This is anxiety. This is the person who will take one small thing and blow it up, you know, beyond reasonable proportion and worry about it for, you know, forever if he's allowed to. So that's not to say something bad or bad things didn't happen between them, but I'm honestly more inclined to believe that, you know, Deceit was just himself, and, you know, maybe he said some mean things or did some things that he wasn't really, you know, he shouldn't have, but I'm not a fan of how people, you know, play that game with Virgil and say, like, oh, he's the victim and the dark sides are the bad guys. Like, no. I think it's also because I equate Virgil with a former friend that I had, who just acts a lot like that. Like, a lot of what the fandom does with Virgil really reminds me of their behavior and doesn't bring back good memories. So, okay. Can you sing the things we used to share? Yeah, I'll pull that up in a second. Yeah, maybe they're trying to say Virgil is extremely anxious of the others trying to take him back and make him a dark side again. I don't think that they're trying to do that, though, is the thing. Like, he might be worried that they're doing that, and that's perfectly valid, but I don't think that that's what they're trying to do. If anything, I think they're trying to use him as an example and see if they even have a chance of getting listened to. You know? Because that's why Deceit was pushing, and Remus to a point, was pushing for Virgil so hard to tell Thomas that he used to be one of them, because if Thomas knows that and still accepts him, you know, as he is now, like, that's one less reason that Thomas then has to keep denying Deceit and Remus and the, you know, potential orange side being listened to. Because if he's listening to Virgil, and Virgil used to be a dark side, and he trusts Virgil, what's stopping Thomas from getting to know the other three and, you know, listening to their side of the story? So, yeah, I think they just want to be listened to, and I like using the dark side, light side dynamic in terms of, like, they're in the dark or they're in the light, you know? Like, Roman, Patton, and Logan are, like, in the light. They're accepted, they're listened to a point. That's a whole nother topic. Do we know when this next Sandersides video is coming out? I don't think so. As far as I know, in the last member live stream, which was, I think which was like October 30, or sorry, not October, August 30th, 31st, whatever it was. I think that they said that they were still in the planning stages. So, they very well could be filming or editing right now. I hope so. I hope it comes out by the end of September, but we'll see, honestly. Alright, someone requested the things someone requested the things we used to share, and I have that on my phone. I'm just gonna take a drink real quick because my throat's starting to hurt a little bit. Okay. You can have the toaster and the TV, or even my Timothy Green DVD. I'll let you have the couch and the TV. Hang onto the jacket that you bought for me. I don't really care, you can keep the things we used to share. But what did you do with my heart? What did you do with my heart? No more fireworks, no more compass. You didn't leave a single butterfly in my stomach. You took my spyglass, no knowing what lies ahead. Won't that night and left a dent in my bed. I don't really care, you can keep the things we used to share. But what did you do with my heart? What did you do with my heart? Strip me of my pride, that's for the best. But you also deprive me of a full night's rest. So no more dreams will we pull through. And I can't collect my thoughts 'cause they're still with you. I don't really care, you can keep the things we used to share. But what did you do with my heart? What did you do with my heart? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I wouldn't take it back even though I feel sore. I meant it when I said what's mine is yours. But I need to know now that we're apart. What did you do? I need to know now that we're apart. What did you do with my heart? 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 Yeah, Thomas is a lot lower than I can hit, so sorry about the octave changes there. What did I miss? Honestly, I get what you're saying about the Virgil thing, goes way beyond a small problem, but I really like fan art and fan rights about it. Yeah, I'm torn about it. You know, I like, and I understand, like, a lot of people use Virgil and, like, kind of project onto him, like, their own problems, because he's very, like, relatable in that sense, and I totally understand that. You know, I'm not trying to bash anyone who does that. Just when they take that fan vision and then project it back onto, like, him as a character and his motivations, it grinds my gears a little bit. Don't let your voice crack, that would be embarrassing. Yeah, it almost did. I held it in, but it almost did. People are mouthing along, singing along. Good. Well, don't stay here. Just, if you have to go to bed, you need to go to sleep. You can't, like, it'll be here. The stream will be up. Don't worry. Alright, let's see. Kind of want to sing some Hamilton. What do I got? Some more Hamilton, I should say. Oh, well, tomorrow's a weekend, so see, a lot of the songs from Hamilton I love, but they're like so many people singing and it doesn't work. I could sing Burn. Burn is actually one of the few, what's the thing? Solos. That's the word I was looking for. Do you want Burn or First Burn? Because First Burn's different, and I honestly, I like both. I'm gonna take a drink while people answer that. First Burn? They are both fabulous, to be honest. They're both fantastic. Honestly, I mean, First Burns, it's not too different, but it's still pretty good. Alright, we're doing First Burn, because I enjoy it. Hopefully I don't mess up the words, because they are slightly different. I saved every letter you wrote me. From the moment I saw you, I knew you were mine. You said you were mine. I thought you were mine. Do you know what Angelica said when you told her what you'd done? She said, you've married an Icarus. He has flown too close to the sun. Don't take another step in my direction. I can't be trusted around you. Don't think you can talk your way into my arms, into my arms. I'm burning the letters you wrote me. You can stand over there if you want. I don't know who you are. I have so much to learn. I'm rereading your letters and watching them burn. I'm watching them burn. You published the letter she wrote you. You told the whole world how you brought this girl into our bed. In clearing your name, you have ruined our lives. Heaven forbid someone whisper he's part of some scheme. Your enemy whispers, so you have to scream. I know about whispers. I see how you look at my sister. Don't! I'm not naive. I have seen women around you. Don't think I don't see how they fall for your jokes. All your jokes. I'm erasing myself from the narrative. Let future historians wonder how Eliza reacted when you broke her heart. You've thrown it all away. Step back, watch it burn. And watch it all burn. And when the time comes, explain to the children the pain and embarrassment you put their mother through. When will you learn that they are your legacy? We are your legacy. If you thought you were mine, don't. My Grand Plan from the musical. I don't know if I know all the words to that, but I can try. If you know the song, can you sing More Than Survive? That's a pretty long one. I don't know if I can sing the whole thing. I'd be willing to sing something else from Be More Chill if it's a little shorter. I do like that song though, but I just can't. That's like, it's like an 8-minute song. Alright, I can, oh wait, hold on. These are all, wait, okay, I gotta find it first.
Grover.
Nope.
Where is...
Oh, this one's good.
My mom...
Oh wait, here it is. All of my songs on this specific playlist have the name of the musical first before the name of the song, so could not find it just by the thing. Oh, there's so many requests for Michael in the bathroom. Alright, after this. Hold on, I'm gonna look up lyrics for this one, just in case. I know the chorus, but I don't know all the words, so. Alright, here we go. I'm not gonna do the spoken parts, I'm just gonna sing.
You know the only gift my mom ever gave me? A hat that makes you invisible. You put it on and no one can see you. Seemed appropriate.
I've always been a smart girl. Always made the grade, always got the gold star. I've always been a smart girl, but smart girl only gets a girl so far. You win at every single game. You want a quest, they tell you tough. If you don't go, you'll never know if you'll ever be good enough. My grand plan is that I will be remembered. My grand plan, just you wait and see. You better wise up, 'cause I'll rise up. Bring on any challenge, and someday soon someone will notice me. I've always been a tough girl. Always been the one not to run from a fight. I've always been a tough girl, 'cause most girls never win if they're polite. So me, I tend to stand my ground. I found I never can give in. It may not be my quest, but maybe it's mine to win. My grand plan is that I will be remembered. My grand plan, just you wait and see. You better wise up, 'cause I'll rise up. Bring on any challenge, and someday soon the world will notice me. And your stepmom treats you like some freak, and your dad won't give you the time of day, and your mom won't trust you with a quest. So the best thing you can do is run away. Run away. But I have a plan, and I will be remembered. I will be great. Just wait and see. You better wise up, 'cause I'll rise up. Bring on any challenge, and someday soon, I swear, I don't know how or when, but I promise you I'll never be invisible again. Someone will notice me. I've always been a smart girl. I love The Lightning Thief. It's a really good musical. People suggesting Michael in the Bathroom. Maybe unpopular opinion, but I think that song's a little overrated. Like, it's good, but it's overplayed, in my opinion. I saw another suggestion. If you know any songs from the Mean Girls musical, is there a solo in that one? I mean, I know some songs from it, for sure. It's quality musical, but... Someone Gets Hurt is a good one, I guess. I can't sing What's Wrong With Me, that's too high. World Burn is good. I'd Rather Be Me as well. Ugh. That's true, Stupid With Love is a solo. Mostly. There's some talking in there, but I don't think, what's the guy's name? Aaron. Aaron. He only talks. I don't think he sings. Let me see. I want to do some more ballads. What are some, like, slower songs that you guys know? Any Steven Universe suggestions? Because I do like a lot of the songs from that as well. I don't think I have it. It's been a while since I've actually... Ooh, yeah, okay. Alright, let me pull that up. One sec. If you ever have a chance, you should look up It's Over, Isn't It? In Italian, because it's gorgeous. The singer's voice is just heavenly. Perfect? Is that one a Mean Girls one? What? Or am I just messing up? Heather's is hard, though. Like, to sing. The range required is incredible to do any of those songs, to be perfectly honest. Alright, here we go. Oh, there's a little bit of preamble here. Hold on.
I was fine with the men who would come into her life now and again. I was fine, 'cause I knew that they didn't really matter until you. I was fine when you came, and we fought like it was all some silly game over her, who she'd choose. After all those years, I never thought I'd lose. It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? You won, and she chose you, and she loved you, and she's gone. It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on? War and glory, reinvention, fusion, freedom, her attention, out in daylight, my potential, bold, precise, experimental. Who am I now in this world without her? Petty and dull, with the nerve to doubt her. What does it matter? It's already done. Now I've got to be there for her son. It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? You won, and she chose you, and she loved you, and she's gone. It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on? It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on?
You sound just like Pearl. Well, thank you. I try. I've sung It's Over, Isn't It? A lot of times. Honestly, that's the song. Like, if I heard it when that episode first came out, I loved the song. Still do. But when I was working, sometimes I would get other songs stuck in my head, and without fail, I could start singing to myself, It's Over, Isn't It? Or Do It For Her, Him, Her, and the other song would just be gone. Because these songs are so gorgeous. I kind of want to sing Lapis's song. Hold on. I don't have it on my phone, though. I gotta pull it up on YouTube. Come on. Get out of here. Thank you. What's her song called? Distant Shore. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of the song for a second. Oh no. All right. No, wait, I want one that starts a little in it.
terrified of the diamonds coming to Earth, but I got just outside the
Please
Milky
don't
Way
spam my
and
chat.
I felt so lonely.
So why didn't you just come back?
I want to, but I
I
just
can't.
Not after the way I left. What would Peridot say? What if the diamonds show up? What if something bad happens?
Well, what if something good happens? Lapis? You okay?
It all became so lovely. Those bluest skies above me. Those funny feelings I had never felt before I met you. I thought I'd stay a while. I tried to learn to smile. So many colors I had never even known. Maybe I'll find myself sitting on that distant shore. Maybe I'm not alone. Then I see the colors fading, gentleness of light escaping, shadows of my fear invading. Have I seen this all before? I know that there's something residing, a terror deep inside me. I couldn't understand how you could be so bold. Maybe I'll find myself smiling on that distant shore. Maybe I'm not alone.
Yeah, good song. Honestly, I love Lapis just in general. She's so good, and I feel so bad for her, but I relate to her. Can you please record covers? Maybe at one point I'll feel comfortable doing that. Maybe. That's a strong maybe. First, the only reason I sound as good as I do is because I'm listening to the actual singer sing it as well, so I can pitch match. I'm pretty good at that, but singing on my own is a lot harder, which is why I'm not looking up, acoustic, or not acoustic, what's the word? Acapella, or like karaoke versions of it. I know the words fine, but yeah, thank you, karaoke, that's the word. Ugh, words are hard. So maybe at one point, I might join a choir here on campus and kind of build up my skills, but we'll see, honestly. That's a strong maybe, because I'm not super comfortable with doing it outside of having the music and sing along with the singer. Let's see, what else do I have? Goodbye, good night, sleep well. Oh, this is a good song. This is a song that I associate very strongly with the Dark Sides, Deceit, Remus, and Obsession, because it's a fantastic song. I'd rather not share my college's name. No offense, I understand you're curious, and I totally get it. I am in the Midwest of USA, though. Yeah, I can listen to music in headphones and sing and add an instrumental over it, but we'll see. Oh, I don't want ads. Oh my God. Here we go.
Tell me again about how it hurts being awfully loud. You're an introvert. Get out of my room. It's my way clean. Isn't it weird to be so mean? I'm guessing that I've grown horns. I guess I'm human no more. I can tell I've rotted in your brain. Oh, how easily passion twist. You think I'm a crazy bitch. I craft my words into your head, 'cause no one listens to the dead. So maybe I'll talk to you the only way I know how to. I've said my speech. Through sharpened teeth, you break the walls and sparks go from your skin. Please let the devil in. A meter apart, we blankly stare. We shout in our heads. Are you still in there? Well, this sounds bad then. We knew it would, so we won't eat our words, 'cause they don't taste good. I'm guessing that I've grown horns. I guess I'm human no more. I can tell I've rotted in your brain. Oh, how easily passion twists. You think I'm a crazy bitch. 1,000 words are left unsaid, 'cause no one listens to the dead. So maybe I will talk to you the only way I know how to. Among my speech, through sharpened teeth, you break the walls and spikes grow from your skin. Please, oh, I think it might be worth a try. Oh, am I ready to let this die? The monster's here. You plug your ears, but hey, you might just listen to it sing. Please let the devil in. I've seen this before, high and mighty at the top of your list, adoring every move from a rank circuit, but we're both guilty of black or white thinking. And through my red eyes you look pale, all of your scars no.
Monster by Dodie is fantastic, but I just don't know the words. Someone requested Everything Stays, and that's a very short song, so I will gladly oblige if I can find it. Oh, look at that. I'm going to click on a Sander Sides animatic of the song.
Let's go in the garden.
Okay. It starts right away. Wow.
Let's go in the garden. You'll find something waiting right there where you left it, lying upside down. When you finally find it, you'll see how it's faded. The underside is lighter when you turn it around. Everything stays right where you left it. Everything stays, but it still changes ever so slightly, daily and nightly, in little ways, when everything stays.
Good song. I honestly don't even watch Adventure Time. Like, I couldn't get into it because I didn't watch it when I was a kid. So, it's kind of hard to get into the early seasons. When, But this is a good song too.
Dancing bears.
Painted wings, things I almost remember, and a song someone sings once upon a December. Someone holds me safe and warm. Horses prance through a silver storm. Figures dancing gracefully across my memory. Someone holds me safe and warm. Horses prance through a silver storm. Figures dancing gracefully across my memory. Far away, long ago, glowing dim as an ember. And my heart used to know things it yearns to remember. And a song someone sings once upon a December. Ooh, I didn't have enough air for that. Whoops. Can you sing Just Your Problem too? I don't know Just Your Problem well enough to sing it, unfortunately. If you've seen Drift Away from the SU movie, everything stays in Drift Away very similar. True. I saw a video actually like linking the two together. I don't know if it's canon or anything, but pretty interesting, honestly. Talking about Snake Boy and extra. I don't know what's happening anymore. I think we're giving the boys love and hugs, and they deserve it. Gladly give the boys hugs. I mean, all I understand is that there's love in the chat, and that's all I really need to know. Tessa, what did I eat for breakfast today? I don't know if I ate breakfast. To be perfectly honest. But yeah. Can we have a deep and honest convo about Remy and how he should be a side? I would disagree with you there. It doesn't really make sense to make him a side. Like, Remy represents sleep, right? Like, Thomas, like, you know, sleep. I don't see how that's a side of his personality. That being said, I would love to see, like, a short or, like, you know, a non-canon Sandersides episode. Kind of like, I don't know, just, like, something where, like, the sides meet Pikani and Remy and, like, all the other characters that we, like, you know, have adopted, basically, and given names and stuff. Like, that I would be down for. 'Cause one, the sides need therapy real bad, and Pikani can help them. I saw a post on Tumblr, like, talking about, like, what if there was this crossover episode, and it was fantastic. I would love to see that rendered as an actual, like, episode, because it would just be so cool. But yeah, like, if sleep is one of your sides,
perfect. Like, that works. But, like, I don't appreciate the people who pressure Thomas to be like, oh, like, sleep is a side. Like, no, he's not. Thomas has said that he's not part of his personality, so I think we should just respect that. But shipping Remy with any of the sides, hell yeah. Do it. Do it. Plus, also, because Remy just needs to make them go to bed sometimes. It would be hilarious if the sides popped up one time while Thomas was asleep and the sides got to meet Remy. See, that as like a short would be hilarious. No, I don't think you were pressuring him. But some people are. Like, some people do. And I'm not a fan of it. But like I said, you know, as long as we keep fandom stuff in the fandom, then I see no issue with having fun with it. You know? What if there was an episode where all the characters Thomas made met and just the chaos? Yeah, chaos. I cannot even imagine what Remy and the Critic would be like together. Oh boy, that is a scary thought. I don't even want to consider that. I saw some people mentioning like they would be the sassiest siblings ever, and yes, they would, and it would be so chaotic. Oh boy. But yeah, I would love... I mean, I guess in a way we kind of got something in terms of like the TikTok, you know, with all the Sandersides boys and Sleep and Pikani. Which is nice. I like that. At the time that came out, I had a theory that they had been filming at that time with the sides, because Deceit's makeup is a lot to put on for a 3-second TikTok. But I guess I was wrong. Unless they were filming something else. But that was just wishful thinking, I guess. I just wanted the next episode as soon as I could have it. Demon sounds a little too close to demon. Okay, but like, that's canon. They are demons together. Like, can you imagine the amount of chaos they could cause? Oh boy. There's no reason to feel bad. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad. I've seen people like pressure Thomas and Joan to make Remy a side, and like, he doesn't even canonly have a name. You know, like, Remy is the name that we gave him as a fandom, and I just think that he should, you know, we have our space to play, and it's a pretty big space, and I just think that there's no reason to make it canon, you know? Like, let's have our fun in our space, you know? Let's play in our sandbox and not go kick over someone else's castle. And that goes for anything. Not just, you know, making sides canon or whatever. Just, like, anything. Just, like, yeah. That's kind of a critique I have with a lot of fandoms nowadays, not just Sandersides. People kind of forget the line sometimes, and it's not great. So, but our area to play is really big, and we should have fun. What if the trash boy kicks over the sandcastle? Well, we shouldn't aspire to be trash boys. If the if they're over, you know, there's the Sandersides box, and all the sides and Thomas and Joan and all the writers, they're playing over in that box, right? If Remus kicks over the castle, that's not I mean, we can watch and we can eat popcorn and, you know, laugh at him doing that, but we shouldn't go and try to fix the castle. We'll let them fix the castle, you know? That's what is this analogy anymore? Oh boy. But yeah, no, I enjoy Remy. He's hard to write though. Like, I have him in my low seat Beauty and the Beast AU, but he hasn't spoken yet. He's just kind of been a presence. and it's going to be interesting trying to write him. I'm not very good at writing like sassy characters, but once I finish I Am Creativity, and I should maybe, well, hopefully, we'll see how late I stay up and how late I stream, because I do want to get that done soon, because I want to get it out, because I want to just finish it. Then that'll bring it down to Selfish Protector, and then the Beauty and the Beast AU. Low seat is Logan and Deceit, and in my specific AU, it's platonic. So Logan is Ace Arrow. Totally not projecting at all. And it's really cute. It's only got 5 chapters out right now, but I want to get back to that because it's a work in progress right now, but I haven't updated it since May because I got the idea for I Am Creativity after the new episode dropped, and I've been working on it since then. And then I have my new idea with the role swap AU, and I'm so excited to write that. It's going to be so much fun. The pictures I posted with the different sides dressed up as like not their own outfits, it's just the beginning. You have no idea. Remus's morality is gonna be fun. Let's just say that. How are you so goddamn creative? I'm assuming that's what that meant. I don't know. Practice, really. You just kind of gotta do it. You know, creativity. Also, my creativity isn't split in 2 parts. My creativity is definitely one person, and she's working nonstop. She works overtime all the time, and sometimes it's not great because, let's see, I have, not including I Am Creativity because I'm finishing that, I have 2 Sandersides works in progress, 1 idea that it's going to become a work in progress. I have another fan fiction for a different fandom that I haven't touched in like a year, and I'm really sad because I want to get back to that, but I just haven't had the motivation, so that's 4. And then I have a couple original stories. I have my Soulmate AU story. I have my Powers, kind of similar to X-Men story. I have a comic idea that I need to write and I'm going to do with a friend of mine. I have a game idea, and then I have participating in a Big Bang event for the Hetalia fandom, and I've got a huge fic that I'm going to write for that, plus a game idea for Hetalia, which I don't even know if that's ever going to be created. And I have plenty of ideas in my notes that are just kind of snippets that may or may not ever actually become a thing. Depends on my mood and what I want. Not to mention my Sandersides Demigod AU Ask blog and my Soultalia Ask blog, which I actually just got an ask for. I'm so excited. People never interact with my stuff and it makes me sad, but I woke up to yesterday with that. It was really fun. And then I have a Sandersides Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I need to write, and I will eventually be doing auditions for, because I want to do like a streamed series, and that's going to be really fun. I can't wait to do that. Story ideas. Did I miss any? I don't think I did. Invisible Wizard. Oh yeah, the game idea. Soulmates. Amnesia. Oh, the Constellations game. Oh yeah. Yep. Bye. Reading back through the chat. Remus's morality. Yeah, he's gonna be fun. Decita's logic is gonna be fun too. I named him Ernest I named Deceit Ernest because he needed a human name, because it doesn't make sense to call him Deceit if he's not actually performing the role of Deceit. And I thought the name Ernest was really funny and ironic, and also it's a reference to Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, which is a play about people lying about themselves in order to get with a girl, which, I mean, getting with the girl thing isn't at all relevant, but like lying to get better social status, and it felt very, very canon. Also, Oscar Wilde, I'm pretty sure, was gay, so felt like a good reference to make. I heard auditions. Yeah. My plan is to write the campaign and then do auditions, but I can't do that project yet because I need all 7 sides to be revealed before I can do anything. I just, trust me, it works best for the campaign if I know what he is. So I need to know what the final side is going to be before I can actually start holding anything for that. But yeah, I'll do auditions. People will both be able to audition like with lines and stuff, mostly so I can just test their mic quality and test their like role-playing skills, but also like submit their character sheet to make sure it kind of gels with the overall story. I think Roman and Remus might have been working together in the episode where Roman and Logan have a long argument because Roman was cursing a lot and his ideas were weird for what he'd normally do. Yeah, in the... what's that episode where he starts with, like, the game, like, sniffing each other's shoes? That was not a Roman idea. That was a Remus idea. You can't convince me otherwise. I think that's Logic versus Passion. I think. Yeah, totally. Personally, I think that when creativity split, it wasn't as clean as it maybe should have been, and Roman retained some of the qualities that some of the qualities of like the original creativity, you know, which in a sense means that he kept some of the bad parts of creativity and they slip out every now and again, but Roman puts a filter on them most times. That's my personal idea with what happens. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, last stream I did, I was trying to draw one of my OCs from my soulmate world, and then that didn't end up happening. Whoops. Yeah, the whole thing about Nick and Aunt Patty in the Christmas episode is proof that either the split wasn't clean or Remus has more control than we think. I wouldn't be surprised if Remus is able to kind of channel himself through Roman sometimes, because, I mean, you know, like, Roman... I don't know, I feel like he would almost ask for help sometimes. If, like, he's having trouble coming up with ideas, he'll, like, kind of allow himself to be a filter for Remus. So some ideas kind of slip out, but they're not nearly as bad as if they were coming from Remus himself. And Remus agrees to it because he knows that Roman actually gets listened to sometimes, you know, more than Remus ever would. Also, Remus wouldn't have been allowed at that point to actually reveal himself. Didn't the last stream go down because of college Wi-Fi? Yeah, it did. That's not why she didn't get finished drawn, though. It was because I was distracted. But yeah, it did. My college Wi-Fi just died for some reason last time. I don't know why, but I went to bed that night with really, really crappy Wi-Fi and woke up the next morning and it was fine. So... Can someone tell me, is Aunt Patty actually a real person or is just a commonly referenced character? I'm honestly not sure. I feel like I remember them mentioning it in like a Thomas and Friends video, but I could be wrong. They were probably rebooting every router they had planted across the school. I think what they were doing is they were tightening up the security. So like I had to register my laptop on like the school website, whatever. So I think it was just it cut out because it wasn't registered. And at that point I was kind of tired anyways, so it probably wasn't the worst thing. It was the world telling me to go to bed. It's 10:13 for me. You gave me a great idea for a one-shot now. I think I'll have to write about Remus. Blah, blah, blah. You'd never imagine that I had a channel where I read things out loud because I can't read. I'm Jared, 19. I think I need to write about Roman and Remus having secret late-night conversations about ideas and Roman being forced to be the filter. I don't even know if he would be forced to do it. Maybe reluctant. But yeah, for sure. Do it. Send it to me when you're done. I'm looking for suggestions, and definitely suggestions that have sympathetic Roman or Remus and deceit, because if you can't tell by my channel, that's pretty much all I care about at this point. But hell yeah, I would read the shit out of that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that one was really fun to read, honestly. And I'm so thankful to DJ for letting me read that, because it was so good, and I really enjoyed reading Remus. He's so much fun. I'm very excited to do more of I Am Creativity, because Remus is featured prominently. Surprisingly, who would have known? And he's gonna be so much fun, and then I get to voice little Remus and little Passion, and oh my god, they're gonna be so cute. Bye, good night. Why is there silence? Why is there awkward silence? I mean, I'm quiet, but that's mostly because I don't have anything to say. OMG, yes, I've listened to Touch Starved about 7 times, and I'm loving I Am Creativity. I'm so nervous about it, though. Yeah, you should be. I really had fun writing it, and I'm writing the epilogue right now, and it's gonna be a doozy. I'm hoping I can get people to cry. My goal is to make my beta reader cry. I'm still into the idea of Deceit's room. He's like the keeper of dreams and wishes. Yeah, I don't know where that idea came from, but I had the idea that like he, you know, he's the keeper of Thomas's selfish wants and selfish desires, you know, like the things that he wants, but he would never tell anyone that he wants it. So Yeah, I love it. I use it in pretty much every iteration of writing about Deceit's Room at this point, even if they don't technically take place. Like, Selfish Protector and I Am Creativity don't take place in the same universe. Like, they're both in Canonverse, but they're different versions of Canonverse, if that makes sense. Like, they can't really exist in the same time period. Just the way that it works. But I use the idea in both just because it's like my favorite headcanon that I've come up with, and it's just such a pretty image, you know? Just like glowing like golden stars in his sky. I don't know why you guys are heading to selfishness versus selflessness. I mean, I'm probably gonna rewatch that video, to be honest. Bring back my love for Deceit. My boy. See ya. Do it. Draw his room. I would love that. Because it would be so pretty. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he probably has like a terrarium in his room and all that stuff. And I'm like, you know, I like that. But I've watched SVS multiple times and it still confuses me. What confuses you about it? I mean, Deceit's confusing as just a person, so I get that. But, like, what specifically confuses you? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, what's happening? I've been rewatching Intrusive Thoughts a lot. Remus does this thing with his hands that I used to do as a piano exercise. Think he plays piano or has a desire to. That'd be cool, honestly. Remus playing piano. I noticed that he does the arm thing, like the raising up thing. He does it the opposite way to Roman in this episode. I don't know. Roman doesn't do it the same way every single time, but like in this specific episode, they're opposites, and I thought that was a really cool thing if they did it on purpose, which I'm pretty sure they did. 9 people out of so many subs to you. Something's wrong. I can feel it. I mean, it is like, 10 o'clock at night for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if people were just sleeping, Thought the stream was over. Soon, probably. Maybe in about 10 minutes. Ended at 10:30 for myself. Tessa, basically everything Deceit says. Yeah, that's fair. Deceit's hard to kind of parse through his words. But that also makes him very fun to write. I'd like to think I understand what he was trying to say, but who knows, honestly. Have you watched Riley Logan's theory videos? I have. I've actually been to some of their live streams as well. They've called out a couple of my questions. I'm on board with most. I think we're on the same page with most stuff. There's a few things that they'll mention that I'm kind of like, I don't know how much I agree with that. But I can definitely see the logic, behind the theories that they talk about. I enjoy their reaction video to dealing with intrusive thoughts. Riley and their partner's reactions to Remus just standing up. I have a comment on one of their videos, I think, on that video, where Riley says something like, "What is that?" Not "who is that?" When Remus's hands are around the TV. No, what is that? And I thought that was the funniest thing. Like, yeah, Remus isn't a who, he's a what. And it made so much sense. If there's an insanity side, would that be close to Remus? I mean, I think Remus probably is that. To be honest, when people are talking about like possibilities for the orange side, I feel like they're not always necessarily grounded in what Thomas's personality is like. You know? Like, I've seen apathy thrown around. I've seen, like, ignorance or something along those lines. I've seen anger. But they don't seem super, like, conducive with Thomas's own personality as, like, a character, you know? Like, I don't think that his, you know, side is insanity. I don't really think that it's ignorance, because Thomas, I mean, anyone can be ignorant, like, don't get me wrong, but Thomas doesn't keep himself in ignorance. You know, if he knows he's ignorant about something, then he's like, he would try and seek out knowledge about it, I feel like, to kind of educate himself about it. So not super into that one. Anger, I mean, everyone gets angry, don't get me wrong, but Thomas isn't a very angry person in general. Like, he's the kind of person that, like, you could spill soup on him and he would apologize to you. Like, so I love the design that someone came up with for anger, though. Like, I saw someone on Tumblr has a really cool design with, like, a jacket, and, like, oh, I love him. I know Fun Art just posted some stuff with apathy, and again, like, it almost seems like an absence of a personality trait rather than, like, being a personality trait itself. And Thomas isn't an apathetic person. He's a very empathetic person, you know? So, I don't know. I mean, you know, I thought that I had Green pegged, and I was very wrong. So, who the hell knows, to be perfectly honest. You know, like, I thought that Green would maybe be, like, jealousy or greed, possibly, or something along those lines. Like, I couldn't have been more wrong. I mean, I guess Remus theoretically could be twisted to represent jealousy, because he could be, like, jealous of his brother, but that doesn't seem like, yeah, envy. But that doesn't really seem like that's what his character is about. Could be a secondary trait, of course, and people could definitely, like, run with that. But it's clearly not what his intended purpose is. I don't think any of us were expecting a second creativity. Yeah, no. No, we were not. And I love him. I love that, you know, while dealing with intrusive thoughts both confirmed and completely ruined some of my theories. Like, it confirmed the color theory 100% for me. Like, ever since fitting in when they changed their outfits, I would say that is where the color theory was cemented. Because before that, Logan and Virgil didn't have their own unique colors. But they changed, like, Logan changed his tie to be a darker blue, like an indigo. Patton didn't really change much. Roman obviously updated, but the red is just a very stark contrast against the rest of his outfit. And then Virgil got the purple. So then when we were introduced to Deceit, clearly he's yellow. Like, his eye is kind of greenish and his scales are kind of greenish, but, like, his outfit and everything else is yellow. And then now with Remus, he's green. Like, there's no doubt about it. He's green. So it confirms the color theory for me that we're going to get an orange side. And I think that that's the last side we're going to get. You know, 7 sides plus Thomas, so 8 characters is a good number. You know, it's a good, even number to have. Imagining any more, I can't imagine him filming with that many, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I guess not every side has to be in every episode, but still. And then just the rainbow on its own, like a rainbow that you might see in the sky, has 7 colors. So I think I think we're gonna get one more side, and who knows what it's gonna be. They're probably gonna bamboozle us all. Wait, how did we collectively as a fandom come up with the color orange for the new side? Yeah, basically rainbow. There's 7 colors, like Roy G. Biv, right? There's 7 colors in, like, a legit rainbow. I know some people are like, oh, like, what if they're going by the original Pride flag? And, like, I get that, but that seems less representative of Thomas as a whole. Because if he's represented by the rainbow, yes, that's gay, and he is gay, so it works. But it's also very much just kind of, like, rainbows represent a lot of good things, just in, like, literature and just life. Like, they represent change, they represent, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, they come out after rain. Like, you can't see a rainbow unless, or you can't see a good rainbow in the sky unless there's rain beforehand, you know? So I think him going with the 7 colors of a natural rainbow make more sense. I love that they chose green for Remus, not just because of the color theory, but also because green is red's opposite on the color wheel. Yeah, I mean, I think he's meant to look, you know, he's meant to look exactly opposite, pretty much, but, you know, obviously a little twisted. Fantastic. I love it. I love Remus's design, even though he's so goddamn hard to draw. Okay, the Virgil's paranoia thing. Here's my 2 cents on that. We know that Virgil used to be a dark side. We saw him as a dark side when he first showed up in Dealing with Anxiety. Like, he was a dark side in that episode, and he was a dark side a couple episodes within. You know, you could make the case that he started his transition, like, in his debut episode, but whatever. So he was Anxiety when he was a dark side, right? I don't think he was ever paranoia, and here's why. Thomas, as a character and as a human being, has never once mentioned having the issue of paranoia. Like, as far as I understand, paranoia is like an actual disorder. You know, like, it's, you can be paranoid and not have paranoia. But what doesn't make sense to me is about the Virgil used to be paranoia thing is that why would someone who has this side called paranoia transition into something that's less intense, like anxiety? Like, generalized anxiety sucks, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing compared to constantly feeling paranoid. Okay, here's the thing, but Thomas keeps mentioning about the paranoia in his Cinder sites. Here's the thing. They've never finished that word, and in both cases, from what I remember, Roman says it, and Roman says paranoid, and then he changes himself. And then Logan says, you're just being and then he cuts himself off, right? So in both cases, they were going to call him paranoid, not paranoia. So they weren't calling him by his old side name. They were calling him paranoid because of the same reason that Logan uses the word figuratively when he's around Remus. It's a word that takes away power from him. If Logan says figuratively, you know, I would figuratively dress him down, whatever, that stops Remus from doing it, from what we saw. So calling Virgil paranoid would take power away from him and take power away from him to be listened to by Thomas. But since he's friends with them now, they don't want to do that. You know, they're trying to stop themselves from doing that. So yes, they've stopped themselves from calling him paranoid. And that's a very important detail to latch onto because it shows some character development and just character stuff in general. I will never believe the theory that Virgil used to be a side named Paranoia. General paranoia is also a part of being anxious, but the connotation of paranoia is that you are seeing things that aren't there. Anxiety is more about seeing possibilities that could happen. Exactly. So paranoia, Thomas never had paranoia. Like, he's never expressed, and I'm talking about character Thomas about this, but I mean, he's based on real life Thomas, but real life Thomas hasn't said anything either. You know, so he's never said that he's seen things out there. He just says, and we went through this whole thing in the episode where Logan and Virgil, the episode where Logan and Virgil go through their whole debate and stuff, right? Like, wow. Like, he just blows things out of proportion, whatever. Maybe he was always anxiety, possibly. My theory is that when Thomas was a kid, and Virgil was probably something closer to just general fear. You know, like, because most children, if they don't have, like, a very traumatic childhood, they don't have generalized anxiety, like, as a disorder. You know, they don't have anxiety disorder. They just have fear. They're afraid of things sometimes. And, like, that's perfectly valid. So that's usually the headcanon I go with, is that he was fear and then kind of transitioned into just being general anxiety. Just like in that one episode, No More Anxiety, they say how anxiety can be a good and bad thing. Yeah. Like some anxiety, and what's interesting is that I'm pretty sure in that episode, I would have to rewatch it to make sure, but they mention, like, you have no shame, you have no something else, you have no fear. So we know that that's, you know, just in general fear, not even like anxious fear, but just general fear of things that could hurt him is Virgil's, you know, that's his domain. That's what he deals with. So yeah, that's my 23 cents on the matter of the Virgil is paranoia thing. Now, that's not to say that if someone wanted to headcanon him, like, turning dark again, or like he had never gone light in the first place and became paranoia, I'd be down with that, because I can see anxiety switching further into that, but I can't see him going from paranoia to anxiety. So I have a problem with that part of the theory. But if people want to headcanon him, like, going off the deep end into paranoia, hell yeah, I'll read a fanfic about that any day. Anxiety slowly became less and less of a problem for Thomas and became more of a neutral personality. Yeah, like, and that's what I think he needs to do with all of them. He just needs to realize, like, they all have their good points, they all have their bad points, you know, and the Yerkes-Dodson curve doesn't just apply to anxiety and general fear. Like, I feel like that can apply to anything. Like, there's too much of a good thing, you know? And there's not enough of a necessary thing. And I think right now, character Thomas needs to find a balance. Which he hasn't yet. And that's fine, because, I mean, we're human. And, balance is hard to find. There's people running around outside. Great. Heck, now I want to write one, because it seems like a good idea. You should, and you should tag me on Tumblr if you do. Because I would read it. You said you were going to stop at 10:30. Yeah, you know, but then I got it talking, and we might be here a while. I mean, unless you want me to stop streaming, I can. You should do your homework. You should get that done. That way you don't have to stress about it later. Alright. If me ending the stream means that people will go to bed, then I'm gonna do it. Y'all are like children. You need your sleep. Well, you gotta keep me talking then. Because if I stop talking, I'm gonna end the stream. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about what other fandoms are you guys into? Because I've been thinking about possibly expanding into other fandom readings, but I'm not going to do it if, like, nobody cares. Because Sandersides has a very, very big fandom presence on YouTube in terms of, like, fan videos and stuff. So it's a very good place to start. Miraculous is good. I just watched... They're releasing so many new episodes so quickly. and I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. We have one more episode. Kwame Buster is the last one to come out before we get the 4 that I'm really been excited about. And knowing them, they're going to release Kwame Buster first. I swear to God, if they release the finale, because it's a 2-part finale, if they release those episodes in the wrong order, I'm going to scream. Yeah, Miraculous is fantastic. One of my favorites. Don't read too much fanfic for it. Whatever crosses my dash, really. Does anyone know how to make your hand stop shaking? Have you eaten recently? I mean, I don't know what's making your hand shake, but if it's low blood sugar, you should eat something. That happened to me yesterday. I just started shaking and I couldn't breathe all of a sudden. And then I ate some cake, and it was better. But yeah, if y'all are ever looking for something, you should totally go interact with my Sandersides Demigod AU Ask blog. Because I really want that to get off the ground, and I'm really excited for it, and not a lot of people have interacted with it. And if you liked the reading I did of it, then you're more likely to get more content if you interact with me on that blog. I'm practically begging here. Because I really just want people to like it. I want people to like the characters I make. I want just everything. Oh yeah, I saw spoilers in the chat. I was spoiled about that a long time ago. Like, when that book came out, I didn't manage to avoid spoilers, so I knew that happened, and that sucks, but whatever. Yeah, you can take it up with them. I can't do anything about it, sorry. Alright, stop spoiling things, please. If people don't ask for spoilers, please don't give them spoilers. Just common courtesy. Thank you. You guys, if you want, because there's very few people here anymore, so it'll be like a secret club, you guys are free to ask me stuff about, like, plans for writing, like, things that maybe I wouldn't share otherwise, because I'm in a spoiler mood. Not spoilers even, just, like, talking about my process. Have I read any of the books, like Wings of Fire Warriors? I read Warriors when I was, like, in 5th, 6th grade, something like that. I vaguely remember what happens. I remember it was very gory. Like, so many cats just died with very little reasoning behind it. But it was entertaining. I might do, like, a special video or something where I'll just, like, read, like, a chapter from one of those fics, because I think that'd be super funny. Okay, I'm curious how you feel about people's inclusion of Sleep and Picani fanfictions. I mean, I do that. Not in canon verse fanfics, so you'll never see Sleep or Picani in Selfish Protector or I Am Creativity or the swap AU, which I'm naming Walk a Mile. You'll never see them in that unless it's mentions for, like, making a video about them. But I am using both Pakani and Remy in my Low Seat Beauty and the Beast AU, which you should totally check out. By the way, it's on my AO3 and it's fantastic, and I want more people to interact with it because it's one of my favorites. Okay, I saw another comment. I'm just curious, have you read any of the Harry Potter books? I've read all of them. A couple years ago. I remember a decent amount about the books. Not a super fan of them, to be perfectly honest. And the author doesn't help. She's not a fantastic person, so I kind of have just distanced myself in general from it. But I'm a Hufflepuff, in case anyone asks. Plans for Selfish Protector. So, let's see. Actually, I could probably even show you guys. Because I have a lot planned. Like I said, my plan was completely, like, swapped out, from what it originally was, because, Remus kind of threw a freaking wrench in everything. But that's what he does, so I'm not super upset. Because I think this will work better anyways. Oh boy, this document is really long. There's like 80 some pages. Okay. That's the next part. So basically what happened is I started writing part 8 of Selfish Protector. This was before Dealing with Intrusive Thoughts came out. Originally, I had planned for Logan and Roman to invite Deceit over for like a dinner. And it was going to involve them just trying to chat normally. And it was going to involve them... Deceit was going to make allusions back to Disney and Deceit with his comparison to Aladdin, and he was going to say something like, you know, like how Aladdin like wouldn't have done the bad things he did if the society that he lived in didn't look down on him so much. Like if he would have been allowed to court the princess, you know, just by being himself, then he probably would have. But because he is who he was, he wasn't allowed to do that, so he had to. Besides, he didn't actually technically lie to the princess because he did wish for the genie to make him a prince. So him telling Jasmine that he's a prince isn't a lie because the genie made him a prince. Now, if she asked him if he'd always been a prince and he said yes, that would be a lie. But she never asked that. So basically, Deceit just being really sassy, but through the comparison of Aladdin. But Remus threw a freaking wrench in everything. Because time-wise, it didn't make much sense for everything to have happened and then also have dinner. So I was like, alright, I'm going to keep most of it, although I rewrote pretty much every bit of that original encounter. I never got to the dinner part. I just wrote the intro part with Logan and Roman talking. But I rewrote that afterwards because I had written it to start out with at work, and that's not the best idea, so I rewrote it. And then that's my little note on his motives. There's my this is my planning for Disney and Deceit, guys. I had to figure out what order they would do and how they would do it, so that's what happened. So this is my current outline for the series. So they had their sleepover already, whatever. Dinner doesn't happen. Oh wait, new outline. Here it is. New outline. So Dee's gonna visit Roman's room and talk with Roman for a bit, and this is like right after Dealing with Intrusive Thoughts happened. Like Remus and everyone else just sunk down. Virgil like announced that he's a dark side, like all that, like that just happened when this next part comes out. Then, and I'm still debating on what order I'm gonna put these in, but Virgil's gonna overhear the dark sides talking about like their plans and like what they want and that kind of thing. Then Deceit is going to visit Logan And he's gonna, I've had this planned for a while now. He's gonna quip at Logan and be like, oh, like, maybe I guess I should just leave the teaching to you. You did so well today. Like, you actually got them to listen. I've never been able to do that, so congrats. Just being really snarky about it. Virgil's gonna confront Deceit, and Deceit's gonna confront Virgil about his actions. If you guys have listened to the Golden Pact, you know that they're not great right now. And then they're going to bring it up with Thomas. And I'm not sure how the Thomas interaction thing is going to go, because I have a couple ideas. I do want to write, like, what if Deceit sunk out? But Deceit doesn't strike me as the type who would, like, duck out because he doesn't think he's relevant. But he definitely would duck out in order to, like, prove to them that he's, like, useful. So he would duck out for, like, 24 hours and be like, hey, deal without me for like a day and we'll see how you do. Sneaks of Selfish Protector. Who knows when that's gonna come out though? Okay, we're talking about anxiety. Yeah, anxiety sucks. Just try to breathe. I don't know how late it is for you, but it's possible that you just need to, like, go to sleep. I've seen multiple fics where he ducks out only for the sides so that they can't lie to each other. It always ends bad, but normally for Pat and Roman. Yeah, I considered that, but my interpretation of Deceit is that he's not just Thomas's lies. You know, he's not just Thomas's ability to lie. He's also Thomas's ability to tell the truth. And more importantly, he's Thomas's ability to, like, make the distinction between the two. And to make the distinction on whether someone is lying to him or telling him the truth. So him ducking out wouldn't necessarily mean that the sides couldn't lie. It would mean that Thomas himself wouldn't know the difference between, like, this is how I would do it. This isn't to say it would be right, but this is how I would do it. It would be more that if Deceit is gone, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference between truth and lies. And Thomas would get a very wide, a lot of trouble because Patton is so trusting. So, Thomas will get in a lot of trouble. And it's not even, his fault for getting in trouble, but just, I don't know. We'll see if that ends up making it into Selfish Protector. I gotta see what the flow is gonna be like, because it could be really bad, and it might not even fit at all. But I know Deceit is definitely going to be angry at them. He's definitely going to be very, very mad at Virgil in particular, because Virgil should know better than to say that Deceit isn't important. Like, Virgil should have learned his lesson. All of them should have, really. But gotta go. I'm gonna make the draw the room tomorrow. Bye. Bye. But yeah, basically all the fics I write nowadays are going to have something to do with character development of either Remus or Deceit. Like, I don't write anything else at this point. Because they deserve love. And the fandom doesn't really give it to them. Okay, bye Tessa. See you later. Trying to think. I'm really excited for my roll swap AU. That's gonna be really fun. And not just because it's gonna be very chaotic in the beginning. I think it's because, like, every single side is going to kind of gain an appreciation for the side that they took over for. Like, not even just the light sides gaining appreciation for the dark sides. It's going to be the other way as well. And just, it's gonna be really sweet and gonna be really cute, and they're gonna love each other. Well, tolerate each other. Who is Virgil gonna be? Okay, so let me go through. So Remus becomes morality. Deceit, Ernest, becomes logic. Otto, obsession, becomes organized creativity, which is what I've designated Roman as. So Otto takes over Roman's part of creativity. Logan becomes anxiety. Virgil becomes obsession. Roman becomes impulsive creativity, which is Remus. So Roman becomes his brother, which is, I'm sure he's going to be very happy about that, right? And then Patton becomes deceit. So yeah, it'll be really fun. I'm really excited to write Patton's chapter. I'm really excited to write Remus's chapter because he's gonna, ooh, you guys have no idea how much fun I'm going to have with that. And I'm actually really excited to write Logan's chapter as well. Like, him becoming anxiety, I don't know, I had this idea and it wouldn't go away, so that's what I'm doing with it. I think that's probably why I love your story so much. We really don't get a lot of good whoops, Deceit or Remus stories, and you have such an interesting take on it. Well, thank you. I try to not, it's not even like trying to be unique, really. It's just that my ideas tend to not align super well with what the fandom usually thinks. The fandom is kind of ironic considering the lesson that the actual series is trying to tell, but the fandom tends to do a very, have a very black and white take on new characters. And I don't think any of them can be considered black and white. They're all just them, and any one of them can be bad for Thomas if they go overboard. I mean, we also don't get enough good Demas stories, but that is a different story. Okay, listen. I don't know if they're here. I don't remember who asked for it. They're probably not. There's not that many people here. But someone asked on my Sanderside's Demigod AU video if I could write Demas into it. And while I don't mind getting those suggestions, it shouldn't have irritated me, but it did, and it's very irrational, because my plan for that one is D-Lamp, but here was the point I was trying to make. But like, do you have any Demas stories? Can you make one? I have a couple of one-shots that have some Demas elements in them, but they are technically, what's the name I gave it? Duxetian? Basically, it's Remus, Deceit, and my headcanon for Orange. So it's all three of them. But I mean, I do have some plans to make some cute stuff with the three of them. No, it's fine. Like I said, it shouldn't have irritated me as much as it did, and I think I was just having a bad day. But yeah, I have, the point I was trying to get at, wow, I just tangented super hard. The point I was trying to get at is that, I'm not going to change that story. Like, it's not necessarily a fanfic because there is some element of audience interaction, but I very much have the pairing planned out. But if someone wanted that, per se, like if someone wanted Demas in my Demigod AU, I would be perfectly happy if that someone went over to my Tumblr and sent me an ask or two with some prompts to write that, because I absolutely would. And I would love to do that, but it just doesn't work in the in my plan, because let's just say that there's a lot that I have not said about that AU in terms of parentage, and it's just really cute. Also, I possibly am going to make Remus Ace Arrow in that AU. I'm not sure yet. I might. We'll see. But I'm so torn. I want to tell you guys more of my plans for that AU because I love it, but I also don't want to spoil the surprise for you guys because I think it'll be really, really good when you actually, like, hear it. Oh, God. This is my constant struggle, guys. I can never keep my freaking mouth shut. You should go to bed. Or at least go lay down and, like, stop listening to me ramble on about myself. Just sleep on it, you know? Or, like, sleeping on it isn't even, like, you don't even need to sleep. You just need to, like, lay down and like, let yourself just kind of chill. Like, you don't need to, you just close your eyes and just lay there. You don't need to fall asleep. That'll still be really good for you. As a DM, that's exactly my problem! That's exactly my problem. Okay. I'm gonna give some hints. Okay, no, you know what? Here is the deal. Here's the deal. I will give you spoilers. Or hints to spoilers. But the payoff, or the trade-off, is that you guys have to go over to the blog and send in an ask. Okay? You have to send in an ask, and it has to be to one of the characters. I theorize that Deceit is unclaimed, but his mother is Demeter. I don't know why, I just thought it would be cute to see him sitting in a strawberry patch munching on the berries. Okay, here's the thing. Okay. I'm gonna say this. If you don't want spoilers, you should leave the chat now, because after I give my spoilers, I am going to end the stream. So you're not going to miss anything other than the spoilers. Okay? Now, if you want to be a nice person before you leave, I can send the blog in and you can send an ask. Basically, send an ask and you can ask something to one of the characters. So Logan, Virgil, Deceit, Thomas, and Talon are canon characters that I have right now. I have other characters, like Remy exists in the universe. You're free to ask him stuff. You can... Let's see, who else? Remus is technically in the AU, but I'm keeping most of him a secret. But I'll give some stuff away, maybe. Maybe, we'll see. But, yeah. I'm gonna send the... Hold on. This is the blog. It's ask-the-demigod-sides. So go to this blog. For you guys, it'll look like... Whoops. Well, I think that works. For you guys, it'll look like this. With their soulless eyes up there. Don't worry about it. And just ask the sides something. So it can be something funny, just like, hey, what's your favorite food? Or it can be something a little more story related, like, you know, you can push Logan and Virgil on their like so-called relationship that happened. You can ask Talon about a certain someone who's coming with a couple of half-bloods. You can ask Thomas about what it's like at camp. You can ask Deist what it's like at camp, although who knows if he's going to answer you truthfully. Is Remy in the camp? It's important for me to ask. Yes, he is. Remy is there. Remy's been there for quite a few years. Well, no, actually, he's been there 3 years, I think. 3 or 4. I gotta look at the bead ask again, but I think he's been there for 3 years? No. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 years. 3 years. Because you got the... Yeah. I am going to introduce Rowan and Patton soon, so you can send an ask to them if you want. But yeah. If you don't have Tumblr, you can send your question here if you want in this chat, and I'll just send it to myself via anonymous message. Will this live stream be posted? It will. It should post right after I'm done streaming. So if you ever want to come back and listen to the spoilers, you can. But yeah, like, I'm really, really eager for this to succeed. Like, I know people like my writing, and I'm very, very grateful to everyone on here, on YouTube, but is the camp boring or is it chill? Sure, I'll send that to myself. How are you doing? Alright. It's getting late. I'll end the stream soon. I'm not tired yet, but my voice is getting a little iffy. If anything, just thinking about my AU is, I'm both happy about it and I'm not, just because I will soon, Sophia, thank you. I'll end the stream soon. Because I love talking about my AU. I love talking about it. I have so many OCs that I made that I'm just in love with. I want to draw them. And I'm hoping that, I've been playing around with my style a little more and I actually like it. Yeah, I'm just, this is what my voice gets like when I'm not, like, putting energy into trying to sound like, you know, happy and energetic. I'm fine, I promise. I'm just trying not to strain my voice anymore. I've kind of been yelling a little bit, this whole stream, so I am tired, but it's only 11 o'clock, and I normally go to bed at midnight, so I've still got another hour that I'm probably gonna just lay around and not necessarily go to sleep, but I have one to Virgil. Do you know the other kids saw you cuddling Logan? That'll be fun. Yeah, my voice gets really, really gravelly like that, and it also just gets like that when I've been talking a lot. It's easier for me to talk in this tone of voice rather than try to give myself energy. But I really want to talk about this AU with the people who are willing to endure spoilers. And I almost want there to be a couple people who know what I'm planning, because I feel like that can almost lead to more pointed asks that kind of can push the story forward. So if you have multiple questions and you don't have Tumblr, like, I will send them to myself. Like, I really, really appreciate it. I hope that I can get some drawings done of both the OCs and the original character, you know, the actual canon characters. Like, I plan on doing a drawing of Thomas, Talon, and Joan when Joan enters the story, soon. Soon. Joan is coming soon. I think I have the plan. So the first 5 one-shots that were in the video that I read, I'm considering that chapter 1. So Joan will appear, I think, at the end of chapter 2. Or at the beginning of chapter 3. We'll see how that ends up working out. But one or the other. Joan is a good cinnamon roll. Question for Deceit. How do you feel being at camp for so long? How does it feel when new kids come and then are safe and you have to stay and you've been there for much longer than they have? That'll be fun to answer. Another thing that I feel like I almost want to push a little more is that Deceit still is Deceit. in this AU. You know, he's still very much a liar. He's still very much deceitful. And I almost wish that people would push him on that a little more. Like, call him out on his bullshit. Because he's lying 90% of the time. Or at least not telling the full truth. You know, like, you look at this, where is it? You look at, here, where someone's asking about the ring on his necklace, and he's just, you know, oh, it's just a silly gift from a friend that I got years ago. I really should get rid of it, but it's on the necklace. It's been on the necklace so long, it would feel odd to take it off. Like, if you look at my tags here, Dee's a filthy little liar, guys. He's totally lying about that. You know, obviously it means something to him, and just push him. Like, bug him about that. I really wish people would push his relationship with Gabby, because I'm really proud of their, well, relationship is a bad word to use because they hate each other, but I'm really proud of that whole thing because that's a very big thing. But yeah, okay. I will go back and take the questions that people have sent in this chat, and I'll send them to myself. If any of you guys have other questions and you, oh goodness, sorry. If you have any other questions that you want me to see me answer on the blog, or like want me to write a little one-shot about, you can put them, and you don't have Tumblr, you can put them in the comments of the Sanders Sides video. I will then send them to the blog and answer them there, because I honestly will do anything to get this blog attention. And the only thing I ask is that the people who do have Tumblr, if you could reblog some of my stuff, that would really be appreciated. You don't need to reblog every single thing, but like the story posts or like the introduction drawing posts, that would be really nice. Just because I love this AU, and I think people will really be excited about it, and where I'm gonna go with it. Where did it go? Whoops, where did it go? Hold on. I'm still here. I'm just gonna copy these over. I'm not gonna fall asleep. I'm not that tired. Okay, if you want someone to push. There it is. There it is. That's the question I want. This is gonna be fun. Whoop, come on. ASMR mouse clicking. My mouse is really close to my mic. I didn't realize you guys could hear that. I'm sorry about that. Okay. I am going to end the stream very soon. But if anyone wants to stay and ask me questions or just listen to me kind of ramble about what I have planned for the AU, you can, and then I will leave right afterwards. But if you do not want spoilers, then you should leave right now, because otherwise you will be spoiled and you will not like it.
Design a beautiful online.
So there's 10 people here now. Yeah, I'll go to bed soon. I will go to bed soon. Okay. I'll see you next time. I will see you next time. Bye, lovely gemstones. Okay. Your curiosity prevents me from leaving. Alright, well, if you're still here right now, then I cannot be blamed for any spoilers that have happened. But if you get inspired by any of these questions to ask more questions to the sides, either pop them in this chat, or you can pop them in the comments of the Demigod AU video if I end the stream and you can't type in chat anymore. Okay, so you guys are free to ask questions as well about my plans and stuff. Okay, where do I start? Okay, I don't remember who said it because it was a while ago. I signed the waiver. But whoever said that Deceit is unclaimed and their mother is Demeter, you were half right. You were half right. Deceit is unclaimed, and he has been since he was 7, and he got brought to camp. I changed, in the original Percy Jackson series, after the war and whatever, Percy makes the gods promise that they will claim all of their children and get them to camp by the time they're 13. I changed that to 15, to be more angsty, I guess. So Deceit has been at camp since he was 7, and he is now, going to turn 15 this summer. So he's been at camp 8 years now. So yes, he has been unclaimed all this time, and not everyone knows. Michael knows, because normally the head counselor is the oldest person in the cabin, and Deceit is older than Michael, but Michael's been claimed by his father. You can't be head of the Hermes cabin if you haven't been claimed by Hermes. So Deceit just kind of says, like, oh, I just didn't want the job. I passed it off to Michael instead. And Michael's probably better at it anyways, so nobody really complains. There was another part of that I was gonna talk about, but yeah, but he knows that this summer is the summer. Like, no matter what, even if his parent doesn't want to, he has to be claimed. Well, I would suggest you don't slap Dee's parent. Bye, Sophia. I'll see you later. I would suggest you don't slap her. Because she might smite you for it. She might smite you for hurting her beautiful face. Because out of all of the gods that Dee could be the child of, Dee is... Who wants to guess? I gave you a big hint. It's a goddess. I think Anxiously Waiting knows. They all are super vain. You're not wrong, to be fair. If I was a half-blood, I don't think I would want to be claimed, because then I might have to go on a quest. True. Yep, you got it. Dee is the child of Aphrodite. Which makes sense when you think about it. I don't know if I explained it super well, but Dee actually has charm speak. It happens in the very first thing when he convinces Talon to let him show the other two around. The problem with that is, so he and Gabby have a long-standing issue with each other, right? Guess what cabin Gabby is the head of? I'll give you one guess. Hi, Turtle. We're talking spoilers for My Demigod AU, so if you don't want those, you probably won't want to be here. Yeah. I'm gonna end the stream soon anyway, so you won't be missing much. Bye! See you later. Yep. So Dee, after all of these years of antagonizing her, ends up under the jurisdiction of Gabrielle, who is the head counselor of the Aphrodite cabin. So you can imagine that that is not great. At all. Which is why I really want to expand more on their, like, Gabby and Dee's antagonistic relationship with each other, because it's really, really important that that's well established before I reveal all of this, because people need to know that he's in big trouble when he gets into the cabin. So yeah, Aphrodite didn't claim him, and for a while he thinks that it's because he's no longer beautiful because of all his scales that he's been cursed with. So Gabby loves to remind him of that fact. So yeah, I enjoy torturing my boy. If you can't tell, he gets a happy ending, don't worry. It just takes a while to get there. So yeah, I'm going to do... Hi, you walked into spoilers, so you probably should leave if you don't want spoilers for My Demigod AU. Yeah. I'm going to explain more as well about his curse, because in the AU itself, because I'm pretty excited about the thing that I did. If anyone follows the blog, you probably saw that, or even just was watching me scroll through. So the icon of the blog is Dee's camp necklace, right? Because he's got the most beads, it made sense for it to be that. But he also has a woven ring on there made of like branches. I don't even know what to call it, but it was made with like nature magic. And he always wears it on his necklace. He never takes it off. And one of the things that I really want to add is that he never even takes his necklace off. Like, he'll take it off of his neck when he sleeps, but he wraps it around his wrist so that he's never away from it for too long. Don't make him try to take his scales off. No, that's a different story. That's a different story. Don't worry. He won't try to do it in this AU. Let's see. Let's move off of Dee for a bit. Let's see. I've got the 4 main sides. I don't know. Out of the 5 other sides that we know about, which one do you guys want to know about most? What are Romans and Patton's roles in this AU? I mean, roles, they're just there. They're just kids, you know? In terms of godly parents, I guess I can also explain Remus at the same time. So Roman and Remus are brothers in this AU, but not on their mortal side. They're brothers on their godly parent side, because I made this AU before Remus existed, and so I had a hard time reconciling him into the AU, and then I realized, like, making them brothers, and I was like, oh, there's an easy way to do that, actually. They can have the same godly parent. So Remus and Roman, so quick side note, before Remus existed, I was going to have Roman as a child of Demeter, because I thought it'd be really cute if Roman could grow flowers for his boyfriends and just, like, give them a bouquet, like, whenever he wanted. I thought that was just the funniest thing. And then Roman would grow flowers, and then Patton would take them and weave them into like a flower crowns for them. So originally that was my plan, and then Remus changed things, because I was like, Remus is not a child of Demeter. Like, no way. He's too chaotic for that. But then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? God represents both of them, but in very different ways. Remus and Roman are both children of Hephaestus. And Remus is the very, like, messy, like, always has oil stains on his clothes, like, crafting all of this stuff, like, in the basement, whatever. Like, he took over the workshop in the woods, and just kind of uses it for his own experiments, and the other kids in the cabin know not to go there because there are many traps set up and they might lose an arm or their life. And Roman originally doesn't like being in this cabin, not just because of Remus, but just in general he doesn't feel like it fits him at all. But he starts to appreciate the beautiful things that his cabin mates make, even if the process itself isn't very pretty all the time. The end result is worth the blood, sweat, and tears that's put into it. So I thought it'd be a really cute, like, growing moment for him to kind of, like, understand that, also that his godly parent doesn't need to define him. If he wants to hang out with the Apollo kids and sing songs and, do all that stuff, like, he's totally cool. Like, he can totally do that as well. He doesn't need to let his family define him if he doesn't want to. Tina asked real quick, have you ever considered doing a mermaid AU? Not really, to be honest, and I probably won't. I really love the art that I see of mermaid AUs, but I don't really have a story to tell, so I probably won't. I thought you were going to say Aphrodite. No, that would be too weird. Because the end goal ship of the series is D-Lamp, and that it's not a thing to date someone from your own cabin. Like, that's the one rule, is, like, you can, like, because technically, if you're looking at their godly side, like, they're all pretty interrelated, because Zeus can't keep his pants closed. So the rule at camp is, as long as you don't date someone from your own cabin, then you're fine. And since D is a child of Aphrodite, and they know that by the time they actually come around to D, since D is a child of Aphrodite, I wouldn't do that. But, I mean, Roman as a child of Aphrodite would be interesting too. Let's see. Oh, someone put a question on the video. Is there, or words. Someone suggested that Logan was going to be a child of Athena. And while that makes total sense to me, and I can see why people suggest that, that's not what I'm going with. Sorry, I'm looking through the comments real quick of this video. Oh, here we go. Yeah, someone tried to guess. Yeah, the snake needs love. He will get love, I promise. So yeah, someone tried to guess everyone's godly parent, and they guessed Logan is Athena, Virgil is Hades, Roman is Apollo, Patton is Iris, and Remy is Dionysus. And I said they're all good guesses, but you just have to wait and see. So Logan, actually, no, I'm gonna reveal Patton's first because it's funny. So Patton is claimed almost as soon as he comes to camp, and Patton is the wonderful, wonderful, crafty son of Athena. And I only realized this after I assigned him Athena, because I figured that Athena doesn't represent intelligence. She represents wisdom, right? And there's many different types of intelligence and wisdom. And, I figured that Patton may not be, the most book smart, but he's very emotionally wise, emotionally intelligent, and I think that that's almost what the Athena cabin needs. Not to mention, there's a fear that every single child of Athena shares. And surprisingly, and totally coincidentally, our lovely boy Patton also shares this fear. Every child of Athena is afraid of spiders. Exactly. And I didn't even make that connection until after I was cemented in the idea of him being a child of Athena. But it works perfectly, and I cannot wait to play with that. So that leads to Logan's parent, because there's only one child of Athena. Obviously, I can't have them both in Athena. So Logan gets claimed after he goes up to Gabby and defends Virgil from her, he thinks that she's bullying him. She's not, I promise. She's doing something else, but he doesn't really know how to tell the difference. Logan starts to pick a fight. And all of a sudden, everyone stops and looks up above his head. And lo and behold, the symbol for the god of war is above his head. I don't know exactly why I love this so much, but Logan has a temper. He can keep himself composed, but if he gets angry, he's got a freaking temper that he's really not very good at controlling all the time. And so I thought him as a child of Aries would be the funniest thing. Also, because he realizes after he moves into the cabin that he is the Aries cabin one working brain cell. There's no logical thought happening in that cabin 90% of the time. So yeah, I'm very excited, because it's not what anyone would expect. None of these, I don't think, are what anyone would expect. Clearly, by the reactions that are happening in this chat. But I'm so excited for the reveal, and I really hope it gets good reactions. Because there's another Sanderside's Demigod AU blog that's out there, and I'm actually planning a crossover event with her. It won't happen for a while because I gotta reveal all this stuff in canon before I can do it, but we're planning on crossing over a couple of the characters to like the other person's blog universe is going to be so much fun. Oh boy, it's going to be so much fun. Okay, before I reveal Virgil, because his is kind of intense, I'm just going to reveal the others that I have planned real quick. Remy is the son of Hypnos, the god of sleep, and he's got this power that he can use this golden sand to put people to sleep temporarily. And then Thomas is the son of Iris, the goddess of the rainbow. And I thought, like, you know, obviously rainbow, gay, haha, funny, but also rainbows represent a lot of stuff, and Iris is also a messenger goddess, and I thought that fit Thomas really well, you know, because he, like, you know, spreads like good messages and goodwill throughout, you know, the world in this, you know, in IRL. So I thought it fit him really well in that. And that's actually the only crossover godly parent between mine and Sarah's AU, which will be really fun. That Thomas is he's just too gay in both universes to be anything but Iris's kid. I don't think there's any other canon characters. I actually split Obsession and Passion into two different characters. So Obsession is the head counselor of the Nike cabin, the goddess of victory, because I figured he could be very obsessive about like winning. And then Valentine is the son of Hebe, the goddess of youth, because I figured it kind of makes sense if the representation of Passion, who's kind of internally young, is you know, the son of the goddess of youth. All right, people are eager to hear Virgil. Okay, so Virgil gets claimed while they're playing Capture the Flag, and this is actually the first claim that happens. I think I might have done it backwards. Oh well. And he's out in the woods with Logan nearby, and he starts freaking out because he remembers, you know, Deceit telling him that there's like monsters in the woods and they could hurt him and blah blah blah. So he starts like panicking, and Logan's trying to calm him down, while also keeping a lookout. And all of a sudden he looks over to where Virgil was standing, and Virgil's not there anymore. He's like, and Logan's like, "Where did you go? Like, Virgil, where are you? Like, did you run away?" And Virgil's voice is coming right from where he was standing. He's like, "No, I'm right here. Like, what are you talking about?" He's confused enough to where he calms down, and then as soon as he becomes visible again, he gets claimed by his mother, who is the goddess of magic, Hecate. And I chose Hecate over Hades, or any of the other, like, you know, there's a god of fear. I decided against that because the interesting thing about children of Hecate is that they're able to learn abilities that other demigods can be born with. You know, for example, like pyrokinesis, like they can learn that through their magic. And so I figured that instead of having another child of Aphrodite, what if you had a child of Hecate who was able to learn charm speak? And so that's where his Tempest tongue comes in. So Virgil learns how to do charm speak enough to where he can use his Tempest tongue on people. Although it doesn't work nearly as well as Dee, because, I mean, Dee's been using his voice literally, you know, he's been using his talent since he was born, pretty much. You know what? They just didn't want to be spoiled. I can't blame them for that. But yeah, so it's gonna be really fun to do that. And so one last backstory thing, and then I'm gonna close the stream out. So Dee has been at camp for a long time, right? Like almost 8 years at this point. He was brought to camp by a satyr named Rowan, who's just an OC because I felt bad doing this to any canon character. So Rowan was basically like a big sister to Dee. Was the first real person that he ever could truly trust after he left home. And so she got him to camp. The issue with that is that they were being followed by this monster, and they thought they had gotten rid of it. They thought that they had managed to, shake it, because Rowan wasn't really a good fighter, and Dee was not. He was 7. He was not equipped to actually fight this monster. So they're just like trying to get to camp as quickly as possible. And so they're on the hill close to camp, and the monster catches up with them. And Rowan tries to get Dee to run over the border, because if he runs over, he'll be safe. But Dee is not gonna let Rowan just like sacrifice herself. And so he gets really upset, and he tries to get the monster away from her in time so that they can both run in. But Dee ends up getting a pretty hefty scratch. One claw mark catches the inside of his mouth and tears his cheek, and the other claw mark rips down his left forearm. And all of a sudden these scales start sprouting from where the marks are, and they just kind of like move down and cover his hand, and they move up, and they're like taking over his body, and like he manages to get like right over the border before just like passing out from blood loss. And when he wakes up, he's in the infirmary, and the entire left side of his body is bandaged. And Picanie's sitting next to him and tells him that they were able to stop whatever it was that had been creating these scales on his body, but they weren't able to get rid of them. And they had given him so much ambrosia and nectar that he had a fever, and if they gave him any more, he would just burn up. So they couldn't try to give him any more without the risk of him dying. Dee tries to get them to give him some anyways, but Picaanie just won't hear it. And Dee doesn't learn until later what happened. And the way that he learns what happened to Rowan is this little girl who could be no more than a year or two older than he is, storms into the infirmary and over to his bed, and starts yelling at him, screaming at him. She's crying. She's just like so upset, and he can barely understand what she's talking about. And all that he can gather from what she's saying is that Rowan is dead, and it's his fault that she's dead. So 3 guesses as to who that little girl was. And so that's partly why he treasures his gift from Rowan so much, is because that was the last thing she gave him. And he was never even, able to say a proper goodbye to his guardian. Yeah, it was Gabby. And the thing about that is, the reason that Gabby was so upset is because the year before, Gabby had been brought to camp, and she's been at camp since she was 7 as well, but she's a year older than Dee is. And she was brought to camp by the very same satyr guardian that Dee was brought to camp by. So she's mad because Rowan is one of the only people who've ever really seemed to care about Gabby as well. Like, she didn't have a very great home life before she came to camp, and Rowan was basically like an older sister to her. So, an 8-year-old's mind, especially when faced with such grief, is not thinking straight. And so ever since then, they've had their rivalry, and it's just, and Dean knows in his heart that it's not his fault. Like, he knows that, like, it was Rowan's decision to do so. Like, and it was just who Rowan was, like, she could have very easily, like, just ran over the border and, like, encouraged him to come along, like, but she was the kind of person who just wanted to make sure that her charge was safe no matter what. So, Dean knows that, of course, but when you go through that much trauma as a child, it's very hard to convince yourself of that. And the thing about that is, Dee doesn't learn this until later, but as Rowan was dying up on the hill, and I'm borrowing this slightly from the books, but it's not going to have the same ending as the books. Rowan was blessed by some god, and they're not sure who, but she was blessed, and she ended up turning into a Rowan tree that now stands on the hill of camp, and it signals to everyone, every half-blood that comes to camp, like, they know as soon as they pass that tree, they're safe in camp. And Dee, whenever things kind of get to be too much, he'll go up and he'll sit by that tree and he'll talk to himself, and just, it's almost like she's there, and he'll just, he'll just basically talk to himself as if she's there, and as if she's still listening, and if she's looking down on him, and hopefully she approves of the person he's become. We do find out who blessed her, as well as we find out that Dee was actually blessed with godly magic as well to help keep the curse from spreading. It wasn't just the ambrosia and nectar that stopped it, it was also with the help of a god. And that god is one and the same, the one who blessed Rowan and the one who helped heal Dee. Yeah, Rowan doesn't get the same ending as Talia, though, unfortunately, because I want to hurt my baby. But yeah, we learn eventually that Aphrodite was actually the one who blessed Rowan and turned her into a tree, and that she was the one who helped heal her son as much as she could. And, she wasn't able to break the curse. She was only able to, slow it and stop it from spreading, because she's not a goddess of healing. That's Apollo's job. But there is some healing element to love, So she was able to just channel as much as her power as she could to kind of aid Dee's own healing process in order to kind of do that. Why did she not claim our boy for so long? Well, think about it. The day after Dee comes to camp, he wakes up, his entire left body is bandaged, and he's been, and as soon as he wakes up, basically, he's bombarded with questions and accusations from this girl who's already been claimed at this point, and has already been claimed as a child of Aphrodite. Can you imagine what Dee's life would be like if Aphrodite had claimed him right then and there? He would have been miserable, because he would have had to live with this person who absolutely hated his guts, and who knows what she would have done, honestly. Like, their relationship is already antagonistic enough, and they live in separate cabins. So as much as Aphrodite would have loved to claim her son and just tell him, it doesn't matter to me, like, what you look like that has nothing, these scales don't change your beauty at all. She had no choice, really. If she loved him, she had to not claim him until she had to. And, the other Olympians weren't happy with her meddling already with healing her son and turning Rowan into a tree. So they were like, you know what, like, just don't tell him. It'll be better if he can just be oblivious to this for a while. And Aphrodite begs Hermes to just not claim him, because obviously that's not allowed, but just to watch over him, and bless him in his cabin. Yeah. Dee's the main character of this story, if you can't tell. I've done the most development for him, and the others are going to get development too, but it's very much Dee's story. And I'm really excited because Dee's going to learn all of this, that it was Aphrodite who was taking care of him and she was trying to protect him. He's going to learn this after he goes on a quest with the other 4, and she's going to appear to him in a dream and just explain everything, because he kind of deserves an explanation at that point. He's been through a lot. And she's just going to say, like, you know, I'm sorry that you know, I couldn't have told you all of this, but I thought that you would be happier if things were like this. And, you know, Dee's not happy with it, but he understands why his mother did what she did. And in a way, he does appreciate her doing it for him. Because, again, you know, he's had to live with Gabby a couple months now. But only 3 can go on a quest, or else the other 2 will die. Well, that's not necessarily true. Like, the Great Quest were like 7 people, and they came back from that alive. Mostly. Not to mention that Dee's not technically called on the quest by name. The other 4 are, but Dee's not. But Dee is like, at this point he's been in the cabin, Aphrodite's cabin, for like a couple weeks, and it's just been hell. And he sneaks out in the middle of the night, and he was like, you know what, I would rather die on a quest than live in this god freaking cabin. So he sneaks out and follows the rest of them. And yeah, it'll be really fun. In the 3rd Apollo book, I don't remember. You know what? And you know what? I already changed the rules enough with the 13 to 15 thing. I'm not trying to follow the books to the letter here. 1, because it's been so long, I don't remember. And 2, just because I'd rather bend things a little bit to fit with my story, rather than have to just follow canon. Because, I mean, it's already not canon, it's already a crossover, so I don't see much harm in just messing with those rules a little bit. And I mean, yeah, true. Well, Bianca wasn't supposed to go on that quest. I don't remember much. I need to reread the books. We'll see if that happens. But to be fair, Dee almost does die on his quest that he wasn't supposed to go on. So he kind of gets what's coming to him. He doesn't die, because I could never forgive myself. But he almost does. It'll be fine. He ends up with 4 boyfriends at the end, so it's kind of a win-win. Let me see. Is there anything else? Shared the demigod parents. Yeah, we're not going past midnight. I don't know. Are there any final questions that you guys had? Otherwise, I'll say goodnight. Will there any be... Oh yeah, there'll definitely be some soft row seat moments. There'll definitely be. Okay. So basically, it's going to start out... So the AU starts out with Analogical and Royality. Royality is already dating by the time they get to camp. And then Analogical kind of gets together, like, at camp. And then Mosiety and Logins kind of have some, like, cool, like, bonding moments. And all of a sudden, the pairs are like, hey, like, I still love you, but, like, I also really like this other person. So they end up giving a polyamorous relationship a try, all 4 of them. And then Prinziety and Logicality kind of develop from there. And then they're all just in a relationship together with each other. But Dee isn't really close to any of them at this point, which is so funny because as a child of Aphrodite, he falls in love really easily. So he's in love with the 4 of them pretty much at this point. But he's like, there's no way that that's ever gonna happen, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. And then the 4 of them get called on a quest, and Dee sneaks out and follows them, which is actually a good thing because Dee is the most skilled in terms of fighting. So he helps keep them alive throughout their quest. And then he ends up he ends up sacrificing himself to the sorceress who's been causing issues. They save him. He's almost dead, but they manage to get him back. He wakes up in like a motel room bed. And the 4 of them are around, and during his, like, what he thought was his death, Dee confessed to the 4 of them that he's been in love with them this whole time, but, like, he's never said anything because he knew how happy they were, and he knew that he wouldn't be accepted into it, so there was no point. You know, all this stuff, all this sad, self-deprecating stuff, whatever. Wakes up in bed, and he remembers what he said, and he's like, oh shit, like, I actually said that. Like, crap. So he tries to backpedal on it. And he's like, you know, like, I was just saying these things, like, I wasn't actually, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, just kind of also fever dream a little bit. Like, he's kind of feverish, so he's just rambling. And then the 4 of them just kind of hush him. They're just like, listen, shut up, dude. Like, let us talk. And they end up telling him that over the course of the summer, and especially over the course of the quest, they really feel like they've gotten to know him and gotten to understand the kind of person he is, and that if he wanted to, they would like to invite him into their relationship. So yes, he does gain 4 boyfriends at once, and Dee cries a lot, and it's gonna be a really cute moment because Dee's, you know, obviously never really thought that his scales are very attractive or anything like that, but the 4 of them each give him a little kiss on the cheek, on his left cheek where all the scales are, and he cries even more. And I'm going with my headcanon that Dee can only cry out of his right eye because his left eye is reptilian and reptiles can't cry. So it's really cute. And one last little ink seat moment when they get back to camp is Virgil as a child of Hecate, there's I'm making this up because I think it's cool. There's a tradition in the Hecate cabin that they have this old spell book that they keep careful watch of, and every time that a child of Hecate manages, you know, to discover some different use of magic or something like that, they put it in the book. And Virgil remembers reading he remembers that before he went on his quest, he remembers reading something about a spell or something like that gives a person like animal-like characteristics to kind of help them fight. So like it gives them like hardened scales to like make their skin tougher to cut through, you know, tougher to hurt and stuff like that. And Virgil realizes that the sorceress that had been antagonizing them and had been the source of their quest was originally a child of Hecate who had gone to camp years and years ago and had come up with this magic and written it down. And Virgil approaches Deceit and tells him like, hey, listen, I found this spell. It's a really early prototype, but I think that this is the spell that, like, this is the curse that was put on you. And I think with the help of like my head counselor Mariana, I think with her help I can work with this curse and I can hopefully like manage to break it, and I should be able to, and I might be able to turn you back fully human. I might be able to break this curse on you, and there's no guarantee, but like it's possible. And Dee just sobs. Just sobs. because he's just touched that Virgil even cares enough to even try that. And Virgil tells him, like, this could take years and it might not even work. Like, it could make it worse. I could end up killing you accidentally by increasing the curse more. And Deceit's like, listen, I'm just touched that you are offering, you know. I wouldn't get rid of the scales, like, in the AU, but it's a possibility in the future, basically. It's like one of those things, like, years down the line, once Virgil gets good at magic, theoretically it could happen. But I'm not going to do it in the storyline of the blog. But, yeah, D cries a lot. Alright. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm sure that there's other story stuff that I'm planning. I could ramble for another hour about the OCs that I plan on doing, because the head counselor of Ares and the head counselor of Hephaestus end up dating, and it's really funny. But yeah, so if y'all have a Tumblr, you should definitely follow it. This is the blog. And I'm always accepting asks. And if you don't have a Tumblr, and you want to ask questions or anything like that, you can leave a comment in the comment section of the Sandersides Demigod AU video that I have out. And I will send it to myself anonymously, and just answer it there. But yeah, maybe you just need to do a spoiler stream one of these days. Maybe. I don't know how many people show up to that. I feel like I just spoiled everything. Like, the other stuff I have isn't really as spoiler-esque. I get why Deceit wears gloves now. Yeah, that's why, because his entire left hand and arm is completely scaled. That's why he wears long pants and long shirts as well. Like, he doesn't want to remind anyone any more than he has to that he's different. But yeah, I mean, I might do like a stream where I talk about my OCs, and not just in this story, but in other stories as well. I would do that. We might do that, because I could ramble about them for hours. I'm sending that one to D right now. But again, he's not going to answer truthfully. Yeah, that's my theory too for why he wears canon clothes. That and the cold-blooded theory that he's has trouble self-regulating temperature, so he needs to wear more clothes to kind of keep the heat in. You can try, and D will appreciate it even if he doesn't say it. But yeah. I guess the only other thing I could spoil in a different stream is my actual, like, plans, like little blog or little blurbs for each thing. But it's midnight, and I think we're nearing our end. I'm nearing the end of my rope here. My throat's starting to hurt. And I gotta record tomorrow. I gotta record the next chapter of I Am Creativity tomorrow. I'm going. But you all gotta go to bed too. Okay? That's our deal. Yeah. I appreciate you guys for showing up, really. I'm always worried when I start these that nobody's gonna show up and I'm just gonna be talking to myself. I don't know. One of the things I was considering is possibly making like a Discord server. I don't know how many people have Discord, but I would be willing to do so. Maybe I'll make a community post and see what people think. But yeah, thank you all for coming out. This will be posted as soon as I stop streaming. At least it should be within an hour or two. Goodbye, my lovely little gemstones. I will see you later.